In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and over. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org.
Everybody else not sharing secrets.
You know, the best way to start a relationship is just bust out all your secrets right away. Just get it out of the way.
Chicka chicka, you rub back the whatchamacallit. Is that whatchamacallit?
I do that every time I crack.
No, what's chicka chicka from?
Seinfeld?
It's like part of a song.
Yeah, it was a song.
Yeah.
But probably
Didn't
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld start with like something like that? No?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. I'll Google it later.
Somebody tell me.
Welcome to Alaska Wild Project episode 107. Today we have Meg Smith in the house.
Woo!
Thanks for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Smith.
The Instagram, there's 2 Instagram, is megsmith.art.design, and the other Instagram account is Meg Lynn Smith. And the website
is megsmithdesign.com.
megsmithdesign.com. God. It wouldn't let me pull it up weirdly on my laptop.
It wouldn't let me pull it up either.
I think it's our internet. It's like blocking it. I don't. It says you're trying to take our credit card or something.
Probably.
What was
Guilty.
That's what it's all about, actually.
Girls got to get paid.
What was the personal Instagram? What was
Meg Lynn Smith.
Meg Lynn Smith?
Yeah, Lynn.
There she is. Okay. And we're good. Yeah, I tried to pull up the website a few minutes ago and it just like blocked it or something.
What a babe.
It's
Look
not
there.
you. I think it's something up with the internet here. It's weird. Pull it up actually so she could see it.
Which one? Oh,
If
when
you
I
try to
click
go-
on it? Yeah, I'll show you right here. It does this
Oh.
shenanigans.
Attackers might be
Oh,
trying to steal your information from bio.site.
Try to just do megsmithdesign.com.
Okay.
In the, yeah, there you go.
Did I miss something?
That'll work, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes
there
that
we go.
happens. Yeah.
Nice. That's a nice website.
Thanks. I'm working on redoing it. I get sick of it about once a year.
I was going to ask, do you do
Good
that
for
or do you have
you.
somebody that does it?
No, I do it.
Good for you.
I don't mind doing my website. It's my social media.
Can you
Not
do
into.
ours? I'm sick of it.
Yeah, we thought our website was cool at first, and now
It
as
just
we
gets
look
old,
at it,
right?
we're like, man, this thing is kind of lame and boring, and
Oh, yeah.
it could use some more flavor, you know?
Pull it up. I'll give you advice.
No, don't pull it up. I don't wanna see
No,
it.
yours
I mean,
looks so good.
this is a kind of cool part of it. After that, not so much.
It's all right. It's all right. We could definitely do more.
Yeah, we're here too. It's time to step our game up. Sorry, everybody. We're on it, though. We're working on it.
You'll
It's
get
your
there.
website, on
Yep.
the other
Look
hand.
at, I mean, it's just popping with color. Like,
Meg, do you own a plane?
I do.
What? Is that a 185?
It's a Taylorcraft.
Man, I can never get them right. I'm the
Pop
shittiest.
quiz.
I'm the shittiest airplane model guesser guy.
you're like Cub and 747.
Well,
That's all
I'm
you
like,
know.
okay, so I think I can point out a Cub pretty much every time because those are basically like hang gliders. 185s, and then Beavers, right? I think I can point out a Beaver usually,
Yep.
and a 210. Am I off on that? Is there
There's
a two?
too,
there's a
too
two-
many twos.
210, 206 or 207 are the common ones. you
Okay,
see
that's what I'm
around
thinking.
Alaska.
That's what I'm thinking is a 206. Okay, so you see, I can't even guess that one right. Goes to show. So you have a what?
It's a Taylorcraft.
Taylorcraft.
It's a pretty
So it's like there's a Cessna, and the Taylorcraft's a different manufacturer.
Yep.
Okay. And what's the model?
BC12D.
Oh, see,
You never
my
remember
eyes,
that.
my eyes just went crossed. I'm like, whoa!
One too many letters.
It's a beautiful aircraft, though.
It is. Is it named?
Tay.
Tay Tay.
Tay Tay.
Tay.
I did not name it. My girlfriend named it. I actually really hated the fact that she called it Tay Tay. I was like, ooh, I don't know.
I don't
Well,
know
you
if you're
stuck with
feeling
it.
that.
Too girly. And then I was just like, Tay Tay, here we go.
And how long has it
So
been
I
now
guess
since you've had that?
It sticks.
My airplane?
Uh-huh.
I know. Solid.
3
photo of
years.
it.
I bought it in Maine and I flew it up here.
I think
Oh,
I remember
badass.
that.
Whoa. Tell us about that.
It was
You go full Canada?
No, we went through Canada, but we went in at Montana to Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay.
So we went under the Great Lakes and then up through.
Oh, you went like down, around, and up. Is that because it gets bumpy or something over the water?
Yeah, you don't really want to cross large bodies of water and in a small plane. And also for fuel and just fuel stops, there's a lot more in the U.S. than there is in Canada. So it's easier to map it out and put the pieces together for the flight up.
So is that like a retired forestry or some sort of a state use plane of some sort? Do you know?
No, it's like it's from 1946. It's just an old airplane. It's
Okay.
like one of the first little planes around.
And how did you land on that like model when you were like plane shopping, if you will?
It's probably mostly by the pilots I was surrounded by that were influencing me, and
Sure.
I had no
That makes
clue
sense.
at the time, so I was just listening to what people told me. My
It's like
friends.
picking out a snow machine. They're like, bro, you got to get the RMK now. Summit 1000 Turbo. It's like, whoa.
Yep, exactly. So, I went with the Taylorcraft because it was a inexpensive plane to buy. I could buy it outright, cash, and get my license with it. It's not an easy plane to fly, but to learn to fly, but it doesn't have any flaps. It doesn't have a starter, so I have to hand prop every time.
I saw you in that video. You grabbed the prop and like turned it.
Yeah, I'm pretty over that at this point. I can't
Yeah, I
wait for a
bet.
starter. I'm like, all right.
Can you retrofit it to or customize it to have a starter then?
You can do that to some of the planes. It just depends on how much money you want to throw into it. I'd have to redo the whole front end of mine and like get a larger engine mount to put it in. It's a lot more weight, and then redo the whole cowling. I'm just gonna get a Super Cub.
That was my that was my
upgrade.
next question.
Upgrade.
Like, what do you aspire to have as a Cub?
A Super Cub, and I have been looking, so it'll be any day now.
This is your starter plane.
This is my starter plane. This is the plane I got all my hours in.
Way cool.
Yeah, and it's been really great for me. It's a really good one-person airplane.
Oh.
It's doesn't do well with a lot of weight in it. Like Super Cubs are great because they perform really well, and
But also still don't do well with a lot of weight.
totally exactly.
But a little bit more than yours can do.
My plane does not do that great with weight. No.
Yeah.
It does great with me in it and fuel, but put another person in it and it's like
Really?
a major performance difference.
Wow.
Yeah, so I fly by myself a lot. I'll take friends out here and there, but
It's a nice day and it's not bumpy. Just so you have
Yeah.
less kind of.
or like I just know where I'm going, like large runways and not like tight glacial
Not a lot of variables.
landings. Yeah, totally. And
So did you
more.
learn before you went to get the plane?
no.
Oh, so you
mean-
went to get the plane, and then what?
I
You
went to
learned
get-
you learned on the way back.
Yeah, kind of.
Got your hours with an instructor?
Well, not an instructor, a friend. So I had a friend that is a pilot. He had a 2-week window. It was like 2 on, 2 off, and I paid him to go with me and fly the plane up.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the same time learn it, and he learns it.
Yeah, and he had a Taylorcraft, so that was
Oh,
huge.
okay.
So he knew how to fly. Also, I'm picking a plane up in Maine. I don't know anything about airplanes yet.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, going to get a used vehicle or anything.
Just go grab a new motor or used motorhome in Maine and drive this sucker home.
Yeah, but if
Hope everything's good.
If it breaks down, you're on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Hope
Yeah.
everything's good.
Yeah, and you can get like the inspections done, buyer's inspections and things like that. But still, it's really nice to have him just like check the whole plane out. He had a Taylorcraft he learned on, and so
Yeah, that's putting a lot of faith in a
it
friend
was-
to like help you figure that stuff
Well,
out.
yeah, and so you're also learning the fuel, the distance. Like
Okay.
that was a big thing. Was
How far?
figuring out the performance of the plane and being like, okay, so are we getting 5 hours to the gallon, 6 hours? You know,
Ooh,
all the
yeah.
like at what RPM, and just like learning the plane, and also the gauge is 2 corks on the bottom of this like wire
Oh, wow.
piece that just like sits in the front of the nose. There's 2 wing tanks. They drain into the front of the nose tank, and so you just like gauge it by how much wire sticking out the top.
Until you had enough
Is there
hours.
marks on the wire?
No,
So you just need to know how
I just
long the
kind
wire.
of yeah. But it was I mean, we had some epics on the way up. One was we were over like northern Alberta, and the gas gauge came out, and so it's on the windshield of the plane, and just dangling there, and that's our only gauge of fuel, and we're like pretty deep at this point, and the cork is just the only thing keeping it in, like in the like little nose. It's like hooked under there.
It's just like wedged.
Yeah, but like not really. It's like flying around.
Oh my god.
So we're like, okay, abort landing. So then I'm on ForeFlight, this app that tells you where all the airports are, and trying to like redirect us to the nearest thing. And luckily,
Are you flying or is he flying at this
he
point?
took over at that point. And I was like,
Is it side by side?
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And so we landed at a strip, managed to keep it in, managed to get it. So that was all good. We had the gauge back. And then the next leg of the trip.
Add a little duct tape. It's fine.
Yeah, the next leg of the trip, we were it was like the tester for the whole thing. We were just judging. We were like, all right, we're getting 5.
Out.
We're getting 5 gallons an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
And so we were going, and it was our longest stretch between 2 fuel stops, and all of a sudden we hit a 45 mile an hour wind, and we're cruising at
like a headwind.
Yeah, headwind.
So you're
We're
just-
cruising at 40 miles an hour,
Just push.
and we're like on our leg that was going to be a little bit of our longest one. We're like, okay, we definitely have it,
have enough
full of
fuel.
fuel leaving.
minus the headwind, of course.
And we traveled with extra fuel in the plane just in case, but
Like loose jugs.
yep.
Okay.
Or bags. You carry these
Okay, yeah.
bags with you.
Hey, go ahead and come just a little bit closer. Yeah, or pull the mic to you. You can sit back. There you go. Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
Yeah. So you got the bags, the fuel, your 45 mile an hour headwind.
Yep. And then we are there's no way we're going to make it. But I knew that we were in northern BC, and someone told me that you could stop at Laird. They're like, just land. There's a strip there. You can land and stop at the hot springs. And
Oh, that sounds nice.
yeah, because I was like, what can we do to break up this trip and have fun and not have it be stressful the whole way? So I wrote down the coordinates ahead of time for that.
Perfect.
So I plugged it in. I knew we were there, and I was like, all right. And I knew there was a gas station there.
Oh, perfect.
So we ended up diverting to Laird Hot Springs, and there was no airstrip, but there was the highway. So we landed on the highway right in front of some truckers, the oversized trucking guys. Came down and landed right in front of them.
As they're driving?
As they were driving, but it was the pace truck that was waiting for a mobile home to come down the road. And
So he was kind of blocking traffic, essentially.
Yeah.
And so you got a window, and
Totally.
you took it.
Yeah, and not only that, but we wanted to land and pull into the gas station and not have to go farther, turn around, make this have traffic coming from the other way. So we landed, got into the gas station, and then we're pushing the plane up besides all these semi trucks.
Oh my god.
I feel did you, I mean,
Not
this has
embarrassing at
happened,
all.
this has happened before, right? I just saw some photos this last summer, on social media of a plane
At a
being
gas
pushed
station.
up to a gas. I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah,
probably, you saw that too?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
I'm
I mean,
was
I
that
don't-
big?
So wait, you could just use the regular gas from
You
the
don't
gas
need to
station?
have gas?
Yeah, so some of these older engines, I don't have to run avgas. I can
Cool.
run car gas.
Oh, okay.
The older engines were,
Just high octane unleaded? Or does it matter?
You need premium?
yeah,
I'm just thinking you would want it to run as hot as possible.
yeah.
Now you're putting diesel in there.
Yeah, you want premium. I mean, the best case is to mix the two. These older engines weren't actually made for the lead content that is in avgas now, or when fuel, gas we put in our cars used to have lead in it.
Yes.
So it doesn't really have the right lead content, and if you just use car gas, it's not enough lead to keep it lubricated.
Okay.
If you use all avgas, you can plug up the valves because the lead starts to build. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, he pulled it up there
Came in a pinch.
on the Laird.
Where you landed,
the
your
Laird
landing
Hot Springs.
strip.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
the lodge.
So were you landing from the bottom side there,
Yeah, almost right where your pointer is.
Oh, wow, really?
and you came
Yeah,
in that
so,
way?
right where that turn is, we landed right after the turn.
And the guys at the gas station, were they yeah, pull her up, we're at pump 6 or whatever? Or were they
Prepay
They were
situation.
hyped.
yeah, I'm sure.
They were so hyped. The guy that we landed in front of was like, I've been driving the Yukon for, 40 years, and I've never seen anything like that. And he had his little webcam on in his truck.
nuh-uh.
He's like, I got it on video. He's so excited.
do you have to comms with it? Is there anybody even to communicate
I
with
mean,
to
it's
let them know?
Truckers.
emergency.
Right,
Hey, boss hog, we coming in
boss
hot.
hog, we're coming in on your 6. I'm going to go ahead and need you to pull over.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an emergency landing. Like people, land on the road if they have to.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Well, I mean, thank goodness it was.
You thought about
successful.
it in the beginning.
Well, and there wasn't a bunch of traffic. Like there happened to be a pilot car holding up a big oversized
chunk of lane.
I know of all the times.
It worked out. I mean, you could have kept circling until you found a spot, or we could have you always do like a halfway point, or they keep judging your fuel. Like we could have turned around, and then we'd be in a tailwind and going faster and go back to the spot.
Yeah.
Try again or fuel or reassess. But
how long did it take the whole trip?
9 days.
9 days. How many stops?
I don't know. But we got stuck in a windstorm below the Great Lakes. Mm-hmm. That was pretty gnarly. My first experience with hitting my head off the top of the plane.
Oh, while you were in the air caught in a windstorm.
Yeah.
With your harness on.
Yeah, as tight as I could.
Did you have a helmet?
Wow.
No, but my headset actually kept hitting the bar.
Do you wear a motorbike helmet?
No. Oh yeah. Yes.
Motocross helmet. Goggles.
I don't do aviators. I do Oakley goggles.
Just saves her cost. And
mm-hmm.
I noticed that Kevin sells those aviation helmets at Barney's now.
Oh, the one that Jake has?
I think he's selling them. There was one behind the register. Where the main counter is? Cool. I was over there bullshitting with them, and I saw the black helmet, and I'm like, man, what is that helmet? Because we're talking, but I wasn't really focused on it, but we were just chatting, and I kept glancing down at it. And then I left. I'm like, oh, man, Jake, where's the cool-ass aviation helmet?
Cool-ass helmet.
It looks like you're a legit pilot when you wear that damn helmet.
Then when you push down the lenses and they're tinted. And
full Top Gun.
Real deal.
The Top Gun music plays.
Surprised I didn't wear that to the banquet.
Oh, he might.
When I get my Super Cub.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you can have your designs on whatever you feel like on the side.
Absolutely. Design my own.
So before we switch gears on the flight, how many hours did you rack up then? Or did you already answer that? How many hours did you rack up on the flight?
I don't know. I didn't actually put any of those hours in my logbook.
Oh, you didn't?
Since it wasn't with an instructor and I wasn't checked off the solo yet.
Okay.
Because he was technically the pilot in command.
But unofficially, you got some good experience on that flight.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So it really set you up for when you were going to start doing it legit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Does aviation run in your family?
No. My dad was a mechanic when I was really little. And then he switched careers, but it does not.
So cool.
Yeah, you just I'm going to be a pilot.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, what spurred that? Just want to be rad?
I've always wanted to be a pilot, a bush pilot, not a commercial pilot, but I've always wanted to, just thought it would be the coolest thing, just like anything else I got into. I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I want to do that.
And then wasn't that part of your fantasy was to be able to do that and then be able to go deliver your art to these super remote places and I painted this custom for you. Now I'm delivering it to you in a Super Cub.
Yeah, it's the dream I've been working on.
Yeah, so and you're doing
I'm doing
that.
It, yeah.
And that's what's so cool. I love to see when you take these awesome pieces that you've created for lodges, people, and then you have them packaged, sealed, delivered, and then little Meg just rolls up in her plane and just what a badass
rolls up
bitch. Rolls up in Tay-Tay and it's slow motion. What's your theme song? I just want to know.
Yeah, do you just have a song that just plays naturally when the airplane rolls up?
Something like Beyonce or
I want to know. No, it's probably some old school song.
Yeah.
Just some classic.
We're going to have to find one. We're going to find a theme song for Tay-Tay.
I love that.
That's what we need.
Well, when you think about the cool shit you do in Alaska, I feel like being a pilot and then owning a plane and being a pilot, the combo is a pretty high fucking, that's a pinnacle spot.
It is. It doesn't get much higher.
I mean, you got a plane.
People fantasize about that their whole lives and don't do it. They have a pipe dream to do it.
Yeah.
And
we've talked it, many times of the Alaskan toy box, right? And you got your ATVs and your snowmobiles and off-road vehicles, boats, airboats, every kind of boat. Because if you really had it your way, a guy in Alaska or gal in Alaska could have 5 or 6 boats.
The show boat.
Yep.
The show boat's the number 1 boat. But the
RIP.
airplane thing just puts you at a whole nother upper level of the shit you can get into.
Yeah.
And access and
also storing it, then you have to have a giant airplane closet.
I've actually never really, I noticed that on airplane storage. You mentioned that. So we are setting up our meet party at the Airmen's Association deal, and driving there, I was like, oh, we drove past the yard where everybody racks their shit with their floats and everything. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is where all the planes are stored. Because you see the stuff on Merrill Field driving down 5th. You see that all the time. But back in there, you got to actually go back and, that bullpen is packed full of airplanes.
Do you have a hangar?
I was surprised.
I'm in a hangar right now and in the process of building one. I'm renting a hangar.
Cool. Is it in Girdwood?
Yeah.
But
Cool.
you keep your baby inside.
I do now.
Yeah.
I was outside for quite a few years.
Yeah, rent probably ain't cheap.
Rent's not cheap, but it is way well worth it.
Yeah.
You picked a good winter to store your plane
Yeah.
for
For
all
sure.
the goddamn snow that we've gotten.
And the
I
wind.
know.
And so you're
just
building
everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk
this
about
summer? Yeah.
That's eligible to talk about
Yeah, for sure.
up north?
Yeah. I am building a hangar home this summer.
Oh, I geeked out the other day on videos of that, as you probably have.
Did you find anything good? I want to see it.
Oh, there's some. Have you gone down that rabbit hole?
I mean, yeah, I have.
Okay.
but
Okay.
I also want to
Is
see
that like
what
a
other
little
people
house
have
attached
done.
to a hangar?
Yeah, it's like a
pretty
hangar,
much
and the
what it
house
is?
is in the hangar, and it's like to the side or on
all
top.
attached,
It just
or-
depends. Oh my
no
god,
way.
dude.
So you bought a chunk of land somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the process. Like contracts are, so it's not finalized
So
yet,
it's
but
all
the
very
contract-
new.
Oh yeah. So it's very exciting. It's up on Hatcher's Pass. So I'll be moving out of Girdwood over to that area, which I'm fired up about. A little bit more freedom.
A little
Yeah.
change up.
Ride my dirt bike down the road.
Does it? Do you have to have a runway there? Or can you use the road?
It has a private airstrip.
Oh, it has a private airstrip. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Are there already hangar homes on like?
Not
On the Willow
hangar-
side,
It's on the Palmer side.
Palmer side.
Yeah.
That's
Sick.
pull one of those up. Actually, Brandon,
Palmer Fish Hook?
you should
Back
pull
in
one of
there?
those up.
Got
Yep.
it.
Hangar house.
A hangar home.
Those are so sick. I want one. I don't even have a plane. So I just put all my other
It's
shit.
just
in
Yeah.
a big ass,
Yeah.
Hot dog
sexy,
stand.
big ass, sexy
Can
garage.
I rent like
Yeah.
a 20 by 20 spot and put some shit up in there too?
Oh yeah, there's so much space.
So much space.
Actually, go to Instagram and do it. If you go to the Instagram, there's some rad
just-
ones.
it gets
Yeah, those
way
are like
cooler.
PJs.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Just hangar homes?
Yeah. It'll pop up. Yeah, I went down a major rabbit hole on this, and I want one.
Just put it on. Just click on
A
something.
50 by 50 airplane closet.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't.
With
This
a
isn't
nice
cool.
condo on the side.
It's not cool at all. Yeah, just a little something.
Well,
on
this
the
dude
side.
had one. It was all like metal, but he also had a bunch of like really cool beam, like wood stuff, like integrated with it. It was
Try to-
really, really cool. I want to say it was like a Montana or something. It just looked more like cabinish than industrial. I thought it was really cool. I mean, he still had like steel siding and stuff, but it was like black with the dark wood. Oh, it was beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure like your just brain is going a million different directions on like what you want it to look like. You're gonna find an architect, you're gonna design it yourself, you're gonna
Yeah, well, luckily, Tad, my partner, that's what he does. So that makes it easy.
Oh, he
an
builds hangar homes?
Oh, he's a builder.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Boom.
So you guys can like design what you want together and then
Yeah, we like pretty much have it finalized. We're real close. But there's an art studio in it. There's a wood shop, a hangar.
oh my
It's like on all the bottom and then living up top.
Are you planning to
Okay,
make
so
it
it's-
open to the public, so that you have like a studio people can come see,
I
or is it just
think-
going to be your own personal
Yeah,
thing?
I mean, I'm kind of designing it so it's off to the side and it has separate doors.
Okay.
cool.
my
It could be like a
idea-
little showroom type of deal if you
Yeah.
wanted it to
Little
be.
first
I've
Friday.
always had this like dream of even having a fly-in first Friday or fly-in like arts.
But I mean, easily pull out the plane and there's your studio, you know, like in the hangar. Like if you needed that space for like some type of an event, like
And
that's
then have
essentially
folks-
what a hangar is an
For
event
sure.
space too.
Yeah.
Have folks fly in to come see your art.
Yeah, fly-in or drive-in or whatever, but it would be, that's like a little pipe dream of mine, I think.
Or bike
I don't
in,
think it's
or
that far
I
away.
like
bike
the way
in.
you think.
Bike in, that'd be
anywhere.
cool somewhere out in Hatchers and
Jesus. She's a big thinker.
That's good.
and
Everything
things
is,
things are
like,
happening
massive
for
right
her.
now,
That
dude.
pipe dreams,
Like-
and then they're happening. That's so
I
cool.
mean, you gotta start dreaming to make it happen.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the first step. Get the ideas flowing.
I didn't really ever think being an artist was possible. And I didn't think being a bush pilot or just, not that technically, just being a pilot, like a private pilot,
Yeah.
or anything flying in the backcountry, I didn't actually think that was ever going to happen.
So what's like the big goal after? I mean, I know you've got lots already like on your plate, but that one, like a backcountry first Friday, that's like the next step or like pipe dream.
Oh, yeah, like maybe, yeah, like first Friday art show, whatever, at the hangar. That'd be pretty rad.
That'd be so
Solstice
cool.
night at the hangar.
Do you ever want
I
to
wanna
get
come.
like
You're invited.
like increase like your
That
rating
sounds so
levels
cool.
like for your pilot's license? Like, do you ever want to
Yeah.
get like
I do. I want to get my instrument and commercial. Right now, I have about like over 400 hours, just mainly mountain flying and
Yeah.
backcountry flying.
and that'll just open up so many more opportunities for anything that you want.
Yeah, I don't really want to be a commercial pilot. If my art fails, that's the route I'm going. But the plan right now is to stay full-time artist and fly for fun.
Yeah.
But I just think that it's not a bad thing to have those tools. And
No, it just adds a whole
Wow,
nother element
totally.
to what you already provide.
Yeah, and I've taken the instrument rating test and just like have like the knowledge, but I do, and I have a lot of the hours, but I need to go get the rest of the actual instrument hours, have the
Cool.
cross country ones done.
It's so freaking cool.
So when you learned, got your pilot's license, did you go to actual like course up here, or did you have a buddy teach you? How did that go?
I had an instructor, so you can do it two different ways. I'm trying to remember the numbers now. I think it's part 191 is you can go through a school,
Okay,
and it has a curriculum.
Curriculum.
that's a tough one.
A little tongue twisted.
Oh yeah. And you can do it that way and pass through the school like that, or you can take part 64, which is you kind of get all the hours yourself. You do the written test yourself, and then you hire a CFI, certified flight instructor, to get you through what you need. And so
Okay.
you have to have a certain amount of cross country hours, solo hours, night. There's instrument. There's a bunch of different requirements, and then once you have all that, you can go take your pilot's license with a DPE, designated pilot examiner.
And which one did you do? You said.
Which route
64.
did you go? Yeah, 64.
Okay.
Which is a little bit more like you can do it your own way.
Yeah, at your own pace and stuff like that. You're not like having to show up at class at 9 a.m. and
Yeah.
wherever.
That seems like the route, right? It's like people either like rent, a plane to get hours, or buy a plane, if they've got the funds to do that. And
Yeah, I definitely think buying a plane first was the way to go. That's what everybody told me to do, and I would 100% say
even though it
It
probably
is.
seems a little bit more daunting up front, like
it
Yeah,
does.
totally.
You're like, all right, well,
I'm committed.
I'm in.
Here we go.
I mean,
Do
that's a big chunk to bite off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I
I
mean,
mean, where do you just go? Like Craigslist planes?
Yeah,
Maine?
there is a Craigslist like for planes, right?
Yeah, the barnstormers.com
Yeah.
is one
Oh,
of them.
okay.
That's where I found my plane.
What's it called?
Barnstormers.
Barnstormers.
Yeah, that's like the planes
Nice.
back in the day. They used to they called them barnstormers. They'd
Okay.
come and fly down through the barns.
Barnstormers.
And
Well, that's pretty rad. I was thinking about, I was kind of looking at our agenda here and then listening to your story. If we could just back up a little bit, like, what did you want to do before being an artist and a pilot? Was there a profession? Was there something, I want to be a dental assistant? I mean, was there something that you were like, I really should like
I want to get in people's mouths.
have this like thing, or like was this something?
I think being an artist was always maybe the end goal, but that's what started everything. I went to school for graphic design, and I've had my own graphic design business for over 15 years, and then it's worked out that I eventually was able to switch over to full-time artist these last few years.
So you were really all about your artistic outlet.
Yeah, I really loved it
all the time.
I've always loved it, and I was kind of my options. I was like, well, when I was in high school, I was like, I could be a art teacher or a graphic designer to make money. I was like, there's no way I could ever actually pull off being a fine artist. So I decided to go to school for graphic design because I was like, well, I don't want to look at a computer all the time, but I'd be able to make my own hours. I'd be able to go ski every powder day. And that's what really swayed my decision, was the freedom of it.
Yeah, it's a great answer. I had to ask because, the safe bet is a career or something, and you can do that on the side.
Yep.
But, when you're a kid and you do something that you love, I want to do this for a living. It's like, well, I mean,
yes, you can.
Well, can you really snowboard for a living?
Yes,
can you really ski for a living? Yeah. Oh no, you can. I'm just saying that when you're a child or a young person, the aspirations are there, but the actual getting there can be way more challenging and daunting than what you think it is, and the things that have to come into place and to happen. So it's cool that you actually, I want to be an artist to make a living at it, which a lot of people do that, but then they realize like, oh man, this isn't going the way I thought. So now I'm going to be a accountant. And then they'll still do art on the weekends,
Yeah.
Majority of folks. So kudos to you, man. You like
Right, and they're probably not super happy,
No, they're kicking themselves. They're gonna listen to this podcast and be like, I need to buy a fucking plane. I need to get my fucking my brushes back out.
You just gotta go for it. You just gotta go for it.
I need to step my game up, man.
Get my brushes back out.
Get those brushes out.
So fun.
Straight to the art store, get the Crayola kit, just to get back.
I'm heading to Blaine's. Let's go. I'll take your starter kit, please.
I was thinking Target. Like you just go just get it going.
If you're gonna go for it,
Yeah.
Blaine's Art Supply.
No half stepping. No half stepping. Where'd you go to school to learn graphic design?
University of Utah.
Okay.
Yep. So I don't know if they still do. They had one of the best design programs in the nation when I was going to college. And I could ski there, so that was
perfect.
It was a big
awesome.
You always had like a second agenda to it. You're like, well, I kind of need to be doing this too.
Yeah,
that'll be a byproduct of my art project.
Yeah, shit. That's the only reason I went to school. It's like I'm gonna go play soccer, and okay, I'll get a degree in the meantime too. It's like I couldn't do just one thing.
No. Oh, that's badass, man. So, where'd you go to school? Where'd you do the thing? Did we?
No, we didn't start that.
No, I was just curious, like, because now you went to college in Utah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going back.
We're doing this a little bit.
Backstepping.
But it's fine. We're covering the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Topics.
I was born in Pennsylvania outside of Philly.
Okay.
And so I went to a school there, and when I was 18, I left. Oh,
wow.
Yeah. I was lucky enough that I had friends that took me out skiing, and I got to go on a trip out west, and everything was over from there. I was like, all right.
Well, you fell in love with that?
Oh, yeah. The mountains, everything. Just like everything about the west versus the east coast I was way into. And then...
it's so vastly different for
is.
A kid that grew up over there than to come over to mountains and streams and rivers, and not that there aren't some in Pennsylvania, not really so much mountains, but streams, but it's just when you see, I don't know, man, isn't there just an allure to a human being to mountains?
Yeah.
Like,
majestic.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something that draws you to it.
It makes you feel little, like it's very
and your art,
humbling.
your art reflects that,
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's like either mountains or ocean. They're both just so vast and big. You're like, I got to be by one of those.
And then you come to Alaska and then you get both.
Yeah.
That's what got me here.
Yeah.
I love a freaking water vista.
The
I love a
mountains
water
are
vista.
touching the ocean. I mean, you can't get
I
any
can
better
lay
than this.
here and have my feet there,
Totally.
touching a mountain.
Yep.
The water is smashing on a mountain. I mean, you can't.
I remember when I got here, I was like, "Uh-oh, Mom, this is it. I found my spot."
Yeah, I mean,
There's
it took you
water
probably a
and
matter
oceans.
of minutes, hours.
Yeah, I canceled my flight home.
Yeah.
What year was that you first experienced Alaska?
2011.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you had a round trip and turned it into a one-way?
Yep.
Good
So
for
cool.
you.
Graphic design job. All I needed was my computer, so I was set.
And so you were working like remotely. Did you have a lot of like contracts and stuff like down in the States?
Yeah, but I could do them all from my computer.
Yep.
And I had some international ones at the time too, so. It was,
And then did you start to kind of grasp on to local ones as you moved here and transition that way, or were you keeping your options open?
I still had like my regular clients
Yeah.
in-house that I did graphic design in-house for.
Cool.
And then
Kind of like your bread and butter?
Yeah, as I met people and just wanted to do some more cool projects. Like I've done a bunch of stuff for Chugach Powder Guides. I'm still their
Yes.
graphic designer for when they have stuff they can't figure out. And then Alaska, Alaska Rock Gym, just like fun ones. That are
Yeah.
the ones that I
Yeah.
was picking up. Girdwood Brewery, I did their logo and a lot of their
Slack
branding.
Tide,
Slack
accordion
Tide.
marmot.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The
Yeah,
list is
so-
endless.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you got a niche there.
Yeah, so it was cool.
So in 11, you moved to Girdwood, or you? Okay, transplanted straight to Girdwood.
Yeah, I was living in Crested Butte, Colorado at the time.
Okay.
And I bought a flight up here just by myself. I always wanted to see Alaska. I had a plane ticket because I was supposed to go kayaking in Mexico. Canceled that, needed to use it in a year, and it was coming up, and Alaska was having a good year. And I didn't have anyone to go with. I just decided to go.
Did
on
you
my
know
own.
anybody here?
I ended up figuring out that I was a whitewater raft guide with
Perfect.
Eric, who owns the Powder Hound.
Yes.
And then I didn't know at the time, but then once I got here,
You're like,
put it all together.
person. I know.
Yeah.
And that's
that
all
was-
it takes.
And I was going to get dropped off at the hostel or something. And he was like, "Oh, no, you're staying with me. I got an extra room." So it just,
So cool. And that's how
just
Girdwood
all
works.
worked
it
out.
all fell into place.
Now, what month did you come?
It was in the winter.
Okay.
Was it a sunny day? Or
No. The reason why I'm asking is if I remember 2011 was an epic summer too. Like,
Tim, you remember that?
No, I do because there was like 3 years after my first daughter was born when we were kingfishing really, really hard up north, and I just remember the summer, the weather was just amazing.
Good for you.
For like season after season after season, we got so many good trips in. Like we're going 3 days a week. And so I specifically remember 11 was the most days I've ever gotten out in Alaska in the summertime. Because I was kind of working like a job where I could just kind of come and go as I pleased. And I like worked remotely, maybe 4 hours a day, tops.
You sound like a drug dealer.
I wasn't stealing
You're
drugs,
slinging
but I
them
was slinging insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing.
Might be just as bad. But it was just an amazing summer. I don't know, man. You just don't forget those summers when you get out that much. Because I don't get out that much as I used to. I still get out a lot, but not 4 days
You
a
get
week.
out a lot. You're tripping.
Get
Got a lot. We seen you on Saturday, bro.
For a second.
I told you all that in confidence. It's classified information, all right?
Not anymore.
That's right here.
Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back, and we'll get into maybe Brandon's weekend.
Yeah,
No.
don't do that.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan-proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney's Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaska public lands, waters, and wildlife. From national level policy work to engagement with boots on the ground projects from Kotzebue to Ketchikan, BHA performs public land cleanups, hunting and fishing clinics, and community education to help take your game to the next level. BHA's community-minded goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping wildlands wild and fostering the next generation of sportsmen and women for years to come. Make sure to follow BHA Alaska for upcoming events, local brewery pint nights, and more. Stand up for Alaska public lands and waters by supporting the Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Join us today at backcountryhunters.org.
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day, because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com. Full time.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful.
I know.
Beautiful, beautiful.
What was that you just showed him?
Portage.
When
Like,
just
like to yesterday.
It's been beautiful. The spring vibes have been great. I've just been feeling the spring
wind blown?
vibes.
Is it all wind
So
blown and
nice.
blue?
Straight clear, dog.
Oh shit!
It's been so
Look at that
nice.
beautiful
So
boots
yeah,
on
I
there.
think when I did my first time I came in here with you guys, there's a
Did you
Facebook
just
group.
change your hat?
I did.
Oh, okay.
The other
I
one
was
was
like,
uncomfortable.
It was It reminded me of my grandpa Nat.
Oh yeah,
That
it's an
little
old. It's
trucker hat?
it's an old school.
Yeah, I mean, if his name's Nat, it tells you one thing.
Sure.
But
That's
now it's
sorry, I
now
just
it's
was
Aunt
like,
Sarah.
you started talking to me seriously, and I'm like, wait, a
Aunt
minute.
Glenda.
seriously.
Something changed.
But there's a Facebook group that like posts ice thickness and whatnot for all like these outdoor ponds.
Luke. Probably
Yeah.
Luke Mel and them. This guy's-
Because he's doing the skate.
It's
the
Nordic
skating.
Skate South Central
Yeah, okay.
outdoor
Yeah.
whatever. But
that's Luke and them.
Portage is looking fire, so might be heading out
Just
there. in a
glazed
few
over?
days. Mm-hmm.
Do you have some of those skates?
I just
Take your
rent
hockey
my hockey
skates.
skates.
Oh,
That's even what Luke does.
he doesn't do hockey skates.
Yes, he did. Remember, he's like, they're all making fun of me, but I was like, I can turn better with these.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
fun.
but if
just
you
out
go to
there.
the Nordic skates, you can go like way faster, way further.
I mean, I'm not about like I don't need to do that. I'm just out there to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's
You know what I
that's
mean?
cool as
We're not
shit.
Just
trying
out
to
there
go
to be
miles.
and just
Look good a little bit, you know?
Just
look good a little bit.
Just-
Give me some glacier
Yeah.
time.
get in a good back check.
Catch
just like,
some rays.
I want to go do that. I want to take my
Fucking
kids
launch
out
a puck for like a mile.
Yeah.
Just watch it scream.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Mm-hmm. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Man, I need to learn how to skate.
Let's
You're
go,
tripping,
bro.
man. We all be going skating.
Everybody
tripping.
skates but me.
You don't have to be good. Just put some on.
I'm worried about busting my tailbone.
You won't. Just.
We'll help you.
You might.
Thanks, Meg. Yeah,
might.
shut
You might.
down.
You might.
Shut it down.
You might.
Right.
Never mind.
Possibilities.
Never mind. 'Cause once
you could wear a donut. You know.
I should. Because once you damage your coccyx, it's fucking donezo.
Just put your hands down when you fall down.
Did you
How
know
about
that that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're EMT. You know what's up with that. You ever had to deal with anybody with a shattered one?
I mean, we go shattered coccyx.
That's
Yes.
the word. I mean,
Yeah.
you emphasized
Science.
the first part. I didn't. I just said it.
How do you spell
scientifically.
that? I got to put that in the notes.
I
Cock
have
with a
no clue. I feel like it's weird.
Yeah, I've been on some
think so.
crazy shit, and
Yeah.
shattered coccyx was probably part of it.
Well, I met a gal that blew one out riding a horse. She was barrel riding,
Yeah.
and I think she got bucked off and like.
Listen, I know 100 people that learned how to skate on their own, and none of them busted their coccyx.
Well, mine's already busted, so it's just
Great.
potential
Nothing to
for
worry about.
re-aggravation that I worry about, like falling
We'll
down
get you
on
a
it.
chair or whatever.
No, I will
Just wear
be
hockey pants.
goddamned if I ever get on a
God
chair.
damn it.
You
Put
could just hold a hockey stick and that'll break.
And
No,
then-
I
and then
can.
you-
I could get on some. I could put some skates on and skate
Okay, great.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No
stopping
one's asking you to do a
and turning
crossover
around.
tournament.
That's a whole different. I'm so intimidated and embarrassed and scared.
Why?
Because all you guys are going to be
not.
like, oh,
No, we're not.
Just
Yeah, we're
crossover
just
and
gonna
backwards
point and
I'm
laugh
gonna-
at you.
No, we're not.
Circle you like a
You should
bunch
see
of
me trying to
fucking
snow
sharks.
machine, bro. I'm not embarrassed. I'll come out there. I'll break
Can't-
all these
you
snow
can't-
machines.
You can't get a pow turn in?
Dude, I wrecked on the trailer.
Getting it off the trailer?
Just boom. There goes
Yeah,
the
that's a whole
throttle.
other thing.
There goes the throttle cable. Next.
Megan, you ride, right?
Yep.
She's
Sleds?
a dirt biker.
And
Dirt
snow
bikes
machiner.
and Snow
Yeah.
machine. Yeah.
And a ripping skier.
Probably dirt bike before snow machining.
No, actually, the opposite.
What?
Snow machine and then dirt bike.
Because you're
I was
dude.
just
You're a
thinking-
big dirt biker.
I was thinking Maine riding dirt bikes and then transitioning to snow machines, but instead, come to Alaska.
Come to Alaska, started to ride a sled.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then started to ride a dirt
What was
bike.
your first snow machine?
Summit 800, 163 track.
Shit, those turn nice.
They're pretty sweet.
Easy to learn on. Seriously, that's a good sled.
All you got to do is just
wrap it.
I think that was a problem. When I started, I had like the Yamaha VMAX. This thing had no turn, no nothing.
sure. And then
like,
you get on
It's a
something
lake
new.
machine.
yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, counter steering all over the place. Going up the up track.
That is
Oh man.
I was such a shit show my first time up the up track.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
so bad.
my heart was beating so like 100 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technical.
Yeah,
And like
first
there's
time up
people at
it,
the bottom watching, waiting, and they're like, okay, this person's new, let's give them some space. And then it was a whole ordeal. And
I needed a beer when I got to the top.
I
was
needed
like,
way more than a beer. I needed a fifth of something.
It's like I thought this was supposed to be fun.
Oh my God.
so
it
stressed
was
out
not.
right now.
It was not. And I am not good at like not being
Being
good
good.
at something.
yeah,
Yes.
I hear ya.
Yeah.
Like Brandon skating.
Yeah. But I gave her hell and figured it out. But it
Your
did
kids
not
skate,
come
though?
naturally.
Well, Kennedy obviously.
Yeah.
Mila wants to learn badly.
You don't have to do no lessons, man. Just put them out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just fun.
Like I was telling you
Find time to go
before the
skate.
show started, I learned on Larkspur, just right on the street.
You know what's so fun? It's just going out to Westchester.
Is that what your body
and
looked
doing
like?
the, and doing the
just
loop.
like
Yeah,
that,
just a
man.
bunch
I
of big old
guarantee I was just
noodles.
looking like
Bouncing off snow berms.
Little
Bambi.
baby Bambi out there, just
Oh.
they had in like church clothes.
Yeah.
in slacks and shit. With a turtleneck.
Like a sweater my grandma made.
Turtleneck.
Yeah, oh, for sure, the red one.
I was just at my mom's place the other night. It was my daughter's birthday, and she made us dinner. And I see all these old pictures of me and my little brother. My mom was like religious about the annual Sears photography studio photo
Funny.
with
all
the
about that.
80s, like
JCPenney.
with the spike in the middle. And me
The
and my
side
brother
spike?
just, me and my little brother just doing that. And the sweater and turtleneck game was tight, dude.
Sweater vest, turtleneck underneath.
No, this the sweater
Yeah.
with the turtleneck. Like I'm like, Mom, at
Like
some
the
point,
sweater like she has on with this
like
the
a
crew neck.
sweater.
That's a crew neck.
Crew. And
With the
then
turtleneck under.
I'm talking about the full tuck.
Just layered.
The one that,
It's like,
and you're just sweating in there. I'm like, Mom, when was this ever a cool thing to put your kid in sweater and turtlenecks, man?
91.
yeah.
I feel like it was like 86 to 94. It was bad. And then it like transitions over to like an and one jersey.
Oh my God. As soon as you hit like the seventh grade.
You let me wear the and one jersey?
Jordan.
She makes you still put the turtleneck under.
And little did you know the Janko jeans was underneath. Just like,
Shit.
Love my Janko.
oh man, I'm sorry. I rabbit holed there on that. I was just looking at the photos. I was like, God damn, Mom, for real. But man, we don't do that with our kids. I realized. We don't do like annual photos at a
No, that's why we got
studio.
phones, man. I got 18,000 photos.
Yeah, you don't need
Yeah.
no photos.
I guarantee 16,000 of them were my kids.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's why we don't,
Do the
value
whole
the
thing.
importance of taking your kids to Sears every year.
Yeah.
And doing the combo. You
And
know,
you guys
with
went to Sears and JCPenney's?
Yeah, we did was it JCPenney's?
Oh, yeah. Third floor?
Yeah. It was JCPenney's, not
funny.
Sears, man. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, third floor. Yeah.
Oh,
You walked right past like the new Nintendos
Yeah,
and
maybe
shit.
you
They
get to
were
go
right
to the
there.
Nordstrom's like cafe. Remember they had the little
Oh, my
like
mom
food
did.
place in
We
there?
didn't
Yeah,
go to
that was
Nordy's,
dope.
dog.
No.
I didn't
We were Lamont.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were like,
Yeah.
we were Lee.
Well, we weren't. My mom.
We were
tried
Lee
to-
jeans, and then the kids at school got Levi's. All right, I didn't wear shit.
and Jinkos.
Well, that was, once I started trading pants with the homie at school, and that's weird. But
What? You did the trade off?
well, I was struggling, man. My mom was buying me all my shit from Lamont's, and everybody else had the Hot Boy shit.
Oh.
I'm trying to hang
Real
out.
Hot Boy shit.
I'm trying to hang out with the Hot Boys with the Lee,
At least you knew English.
and then everybody had
tough.
Nikes, and I
I'm
had
out here
the
trying
fucking
to trade with Brian and shit.
oh,
Mira.
Mira Jinkos.
that's true. At least I could speak English. I had that going for me.
I want to talk about dirt bikes real quick.
Let's do that. Jesus, get out of there.
Because like we were talking about before,
Get us out of that hole. Get out of there.
I've always been into ATVs. I learned to ride when I was little with my brother, and we go all the time. And my kids are into it. We're all into ATVs. I only see dirt bikes at Knik and sometimes at Eureka. Where is that like the main? Where else do people ride? Or do they nail it?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of dirt biking in Alaska, but it's out there.
Yeah.
There's some trails like around Hatcher's Pass that you can get out
Okay.
on. Out the Knik. There's the motocross at Kincaid.
Yep.
And I don't know. I'm still new to figuring out the trails in Alaska. Kings River is
Oh
also-
yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So I'll probably know a lot more in another year or two here because I'm going to start exploring more trails up here. Most of my riding's been in Washington area.
I bet it's banging out there.
It's so good.
So do you have a bike that you leave down there, or does
Yeah, I have 2 now.
great?
Or actually, I have like 4 dirt bikes right now.
Hell yeah!
Awesome.
4 down there.
Yeah, they're just, let's see, I've got one up here, 3 down there.
Is it a small enough dirt bike that you could somehow transport via a plane?
A trailer craft.
No, not my plane.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm sure you definitely. People like,
Could you like jerry rig or build like a
yeah.
platform?
Yeah, I
type?
mean, have you seen pictures of like people taking ATVs
Yes.
out and like strapping them to a float?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
also there's lumber racks that go underneath like a cub or something like that. I've heard of people
under
taking,
like the belly pod of a plane type of deal.
Yeah, I've heard of people just like taking sleds apart, swim machines apart,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the handlebars and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like strapping thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's possible. I bet in a 180, 185, you could just put a dirt.
Oh, that's
bike in there.
100% how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the like
Beaver
mining
for sure.
districts and people that are doing stuff where they'll break down a whole 6x6 and
Yeah.
ship it out.
Well, I'm just like, that could be pretty
Fly
cool.
out dirt biking.
Imagine you and your dude, and each of your bikes are strapped like on each side, and like you're able to land somewhere.
It'll be like the
That'd
WoW
be
Project
insane.
logo, but it's bikes.
Yeah,
Instead of
and
the
yeah,
racks.
two racks. You got at least a little 50s or something. Get some
Yeah.
50s and strap them on each.
Have you seen the
Get some
new like
floats and-
electric ones?
Oh yeah, the Stay 6. Is that what?
Yeah. Your brother was sending us the picture of
Yeah,
that.
he sure was. They got them in stock over at AME.
The Stasics might be the little kids' bikes.
They are the little kids' ones.
They're mini bikes. Yeah.
But I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna like get there,
Yeah.
right? Or it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, there is.
It's on its way for sure.
No, there is like adult electric bikes. I'm forgetting what they're called right now, but yeah. I was just over in Maui and there was a guy riding one.
Oh,
on the street?
No, on the trails.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, cool.
Yeah, and so that was the first one I've actually like seen out riding.
that was Maui. I was just there too. It's
So good. That's the next dream.
I need a hangar in Alaska.
Yeah, place in Maui.
Yeah, if you were just to like tweak some of Meg Smith designs and some of like the epic.
I was already dreaming, brainstorming that when I was over there.
I mean, go on some flights around there, get some visuals, take some pictures, and like
Some cool volcano shit.
and it's like Meg Smith like winter edition or like summer, you know, it's like you
Island style.
yeah.
Island style. Yeah.
Like what a cool twist on
Yeah.
like what you're already doing here that's got such like a niche and like it's branded like so you when people see that I feel like they know that like it's you without
Is
seeing.
there a name to that style that you do?
I don't think I don't know if there is. I don't know it. It's just kind of
So is it a combination like
for.
for people that can't see like we're looking at one of her pieces that's on the table that she brought in how does your process work for like is it part like digital and then you create or like kind of talk through the process?
I have two different processes depending on what type of piece I'm doing. So both of these that are on the table, one is the super coat painting I did for the Alaska Airmen's Association last year. And another one is of a doll sheep that I did. And so both of these, what I do for my paintings.
Did you make a big one of those
Yeah.
for them?
Yep.
Do they have it in that building?
They might.
I think they do.
I felt like it looked familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
they
the one
so
that
they
we
do posters. You know, they do the poster every year for the
Okay, that's what I saw.
Great Aviation Gathering.
That's what I saw.
Great Alaska Aviation Gathering.
Sure.
And they had the same guy doing it for like 20 years or maybe even more. And they recently just switched it up and they asked me to start doing it. So I did it last year. I'm doing the one. I'm almost finished with the one this year.
So this was specific for them, this piece.
Yeah. And
Did they give you free range?
yeah, they do. They
Great.
wanted it to, they just told me they're like, we want it to be more Alaska general aviation, like what Alaskans do with their planes.
Yeah.
So right away, I went to ski flying because it's my favorite thing to do with my
Yep.
plane.
That's badass.
This year, it's a beaver on floats with fly fishing. It's like just
Maybe
like
turn that
lots of
to the
people
camera.
Yeah.
getting flown out.
So you freehand all this stuff?
So this is all freehand, yeah. And then
the RAM too?
Yep. This is
Oh,
all
shit.
painted with a little tiny brush.
Do you have like a picture or something you're looking at, or do you
Yeah,
just kind of?
for this, no. For like the mountains and things, I just kind of do that out of my head.
Yeah.
Unless I'm trying to do a specific spot, then I look at it. And yeah, for the sheep, I looked at a photo for that. But
Yeah. I mean, the accuracy is. I
God,
mean,
it's so beautiful.
it
Yeah,
looks
so
like a
you'll paint it.
photo.
Do you just do like when you do the first painting of it?
It's
Is there a
gorgeous,
certain
man.
size that you want to do? Is it like an 8x12, or are you trying to do something
yeah,
bigger?
I usually do them all big, so like
Okay.
30 by 40,
Okay.
or that's the size I like to work in.
Okay.
Because it's like there's no point. I mean, I am a customer of Meg's, and so it's like there's
cool.
no point in getting something like small when it's this like beautiful of a piece of work that you're gonna put up in your home. Granted, like she's got all sizes, so it's like
But I would think if she made like the original size, like you said, the 30 by 40, you could make it this small, or you can make it as big or small as you want it, right?
Yep,
Once you,
totally.
but like the way you're gonna do the first original art piece of it before you digitize it. Is that the right word?
Yep.
You'll do 30 by 40.
Yep, or 30 by 40 or bigger or slightly smaller, but I like to work big so then I have the option for prints and everything to go that big. And then, because you can always go smaller, but if you start small, you can't go bigger.
Got it.
Can't blow them up. They don't look.
They don't look good. You can blow them up, but
Yeah.
it's
Do
not
you
going to work that well.
Yeah.
do you save the originals all yourself?
No, I sell the originals.
You do sell the original too.
Yeah. Yep, I sell the originals. They sell right away. Like as soon as I have a waiting list for originals too.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And they're all big ones like that mostly?
Yep. And
So
my
one I have is canvas, and yeah, I love that one.
Is it a canvas like print like that, or is it actual paint?
Paint.
Paint.
Yeah. I don't remember which one I have, but it's like, yeah, it's mountain scene, obviously, with like, there's some like gold, and it's like during like twilight kind of, so it's like the mountain, sun's going down, and there's like gold accents along all the ridge lines, and it's so pretty. And I usually like light a candle by it, and then so it just makes the whole thing like
it glows
pop
it up.
and glow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That one's a classic.
And I got one that's similar mountains as these, and it has the goat perched on the peak.
Oh, sick.
I got that for a handful of friends for like a Christmas gift. It's like all her pieces are just so dope, and like, people are like thrilled to get them.
Man.
Thrilled, no matter like postcard, print, canvas, metal, like.
And so the goat one, like you were talking about, the one that's up on the side of the mountain, that one's a different process. That one's my graphic pieces that come from my graphic design background, and pretty much all of those come from me going out somewhere, having an adventure, this experience, and then sometimes I'll jot down certain like sketches if I'm out there and I have something, and a lot of times I just come home and like do it from my head, and but that's why it becomes very graphic and really simple, like simplified. There's not nearly as much detail as like my paintings have.
Because it's like an image that
A lot
you
more just like
remembered.
clean, like straight lines.
Yeah.
Verse.
And what I do is I draw it out. So it's all of them are drawn out by hand, but these ones I draw it out by hand, scan it in the computer, redraw it in the computer, so that I can render it there, color it, do whatever I want, and then I print it onto the metal or the canvas.
So
How
cool.
time consuming is that?
That one is not nearly as time consuming as the paintings are. My paintings take me a lot longer.
Like what? Like what do you mean? Like days?
Yeah,
hours?
that's kind of
It's
what I was
like-
asking.
Depends
like
on
the
your
like
vibes.
like the sheep one.
The sheep took me like 4 days, 5 days. Because
And are you
I mean,
multitasking in the meantime, doing other like multiple things at once, or are you?
Yeah,
Depends if
I-
the powder's hitting. girl,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's
Okay, break time, break time.
The sheep can wait.
I love living in Girdwood for that, because I can wake up in the morning. I can wake up at 7 if I want. Work.
Paint, go shred,
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah, go get a couple laps in, and then come back, and I still have like over a full day of work.
And there's nobody in their right mind that skis from 10:30 to 4:30. They're lying if they say they do.
My knees can't handle that. They're shot.
Yep.
So
Only reason we're up there is
good
if we
with a
get
little
stuck
bit.
fizzing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, so the graphic pieces, they're a lot shorter for me to do. They take me a day, 2 days, 3 days. The sheet painting took me like 5-ish, because there's just not as much going around in the background, so there's a little bit
Okay.
less to paint.
Yeah.
Some of my mountainscapes take me a lot longer, because
Yeah.
it's just the whole thing. Like I'm filling in the whole thing with details.
Yeah.
Do you prefer one versus the other?
I like getting lost in a painting. Like,
Yeah.
to me, that's where I reach the flow state of creativity more than my graphic pieces.
Yeah.
I like my graphic pieces because I think, to me, they're just different and unique, and I like doing stuff that you don't really see.
Yeah.
Like, the best compliment I ever get from people, they're just like, wow, your stuff's so different.
Yeah.
That's the best compliment ever.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Here.
going for.
Yeah.
Well, speaking on that, did you have anyone that like inspired you, like your style? Was there something that you saw one time, you're like, oh, I like that, I want to try to do that?
I feel like I've always been inspired by just like geometric things. I really
Okay.
like the crisp, clean lines. So anytime I've seen anything like that, I'm just really drawn to it. I'm like, that's what I like.
Yeah.
I like that more than like the whimsical kind of like splashy, sloppier
Sure.
stuff. Like, just
Yeah.
that's my taste. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what I lean towards in my art.
Can you pull up some of her stuff real quick, Brandon?
Yep.
This could be a good segue into some of the art that you did for an event that's going on right now?
Oh,
Does that also have some of those attributes that you were just speaking of?
It does. It has a
applied
lot
in
of
that?
it.
So maybe one of those photos that she just airdropped you earlier, B?
Oh, yeah. I'm on it.
That one's not the final one. I don't have it on my phone. But
so will you share with everybody listening what this project is?
It's for the Natural Selection tour that's coming up here to Alaska. It's Travis Rice's snowboard competition. It's a pretty big event.
Yes.
Yeah, so they just,
cool.
I think, when this airs, they'll have already, they were just finishing in Revelstoke in BC today.
Yeah.
And then the final is going to Valdez at some point
sick.
mid-March, but it is like the most epic backcountry snowboard competition that has ever.
Is that during tailgate?
I was just going to ask
I don't know when. The tailgate, I think, is the first week in April.
Tailgate is...
So this is the artwork that they
7th.
reached out to and asked you to do.
Yeah. Yep. And that's like not the final version has an owl in the back of the mountain, like coming down at you.
Oh,
And that's something that you added.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I took this painting, and this is just the last thing I have on my phone. It's not the fully finished version of it, but it looks pretty similar to this. And then I took it in the computer and added some more just like dramatic contrast, geometric lines, angles, things to like really finalize it and make it look cool. And then added the owl coming in the back.
way cool.
Because-
White owl.
Yep, because this was
Snowy.
a commission. I usually like my paintings, I would just, if I wanted to do that, I would just go for it. This
Yeah.
I didn't want to like mess it up because they didn't ask for that, you know.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
just they wanted my classic Alaska like mountain spine line,
lines.
pillow lines.
Yeah, I'm noticing while looking at like that, noticing the pillows, and a lot of your other stuff doesn't normally have that. It's
No,
normally
it
just
doesn't have
straight
pillows. I
plain
was like,
line.
Can you
Alright.
explain that for people that don't understand what
Yeah,
that
what
means?
pillows are.
Yeah.
Like the pillows are nice, fluffy, powdery little jumps, kind of when you're going down a mountain, and they like cliffs. They attach to them, and then when you're riding, you can like jump off of one and land on the next.
They're like pillowy, not very descriptive, but like landing zones that
plop,
yep,
plop,
and that all
plop.
descend down kind of in a descending line.
and if you're really good, they're really
And what
fun.
we're talking about, the pillows are these little
Yep.
like snow packs.
And
Little
so,
nubs.
I mean, I've been watching
It'd be
the
insane to ski down
tour
that.
since it kind of started like online. How have they described to you that they're going to be using this piece through like
So they do like last year, and it might have been the year before too. I'm not certain about that, but they have artists that they commission to create art for their event, and it could be just one for the whole year or like one for each stop.
got it?
Is kind of what I saw
Sure.
from what they were doing, and yeah, I'm doing the Alaska one this
So
year.
cool.
So
I remember specifically them talking about some of the geometric shapes that were coming out that was over one of the tunnels that the riders were coming out of. Do you remember that
cool.
piece? And they were kind of like mirroring like giant snowflakes, but were very just like rigid straight lines. And so that's so cool. I'm just, imagining that artist being contacted and like, hey, come up with something cool. And like the way that they were built and transported to go to like each event, because it was just like the whole tunnel that all the riders would come out of. And it was really, really neat.
was that this year?
Last year's.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So cool. So when we watch the finale in Valdez in a few weeks, we're going to see this up there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know like what they
What capacity they're going to
do
use
it with. I know they like have it on their website, and they use that to promote it, and they sell NFTs of it, and
Yeah.
Damn, they go full NFT?
yeah.
Wow. So you give the whole rights to them. Like, this is yours now, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's smart of them. And cool of them to like bring in the local person to do that.
It is really cool. I was really excited when they contacted me. I was like, I was in Maui, and they're like, "Can you?"
Oh God, that was recently then.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, how funny!
I was in Maui, and I was still there for another week, and they're like, and then my deadline was pretty much in 2 weeks. So I was like, oh, I have a week to bust this painting out, like as soon as I get back.
Oh shit!
And I got to push everything else off, but I wanted to do it.
Absolutely, that's like, not something you're gonna say. Oh, I can't.
I don't know.
I'm in Maui. No.
I was like,
you're like, I'll have it done.
When Travis Rice calls, you deliver.
That's right. That's right.
That is so cool.
I was stuck. I'm like, I just don't understand how these people even find me sometimes. I'm like, wow, that's so cool.
You're out in the universe.
I guess so.
Yeah, putting it out there.
Yeah, I don't know, man, the way algorithms and all that stuff work, and your phone's like, I don't know. I went to go type in your Instagram, and I type in Meg, and it pulled you up right away. I'm like, computer, how did you know she's sitting here?
It's
like
the vibes, bro. It's the vibes.
I'm like,
She's vibing it hard.
This is creepy, but super convenient. There she is. Click.
Is there other Alaska artists that you look up to, or like you're like, man, or peers and stuff like that? That are like, man, these people are rad too.
Definitely. Dawn Garrity, she lives out in Girdwood. She's one of my best friends, and she has been a huge influence and just resource for me. Definitely, because I've switched over from graphic design to full-time artist here in the last 3 to 4 years, and she did the same thing. And so it was just really cool to have her tell me what she does, and just kind of give me a little bit of mentorship as like, and direction of like, this is what I do. You can do it however you want, but like,
Yeah.
And she's very encouraging. She'd be like, get in your studio. You have to be in there by 12 o'clock tomorrow. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she's the bomb. She's the bomb.
Yeah, she would be like, you have to paint more. Like, your art's really good. Just keep going,
Yeah.
So she was like a big encourager of me doing it.
That's awesome.
And that's so great. That's like Girdwood's such a small community, but it's like you're always creating more room for people that are doing what they love and that bring something to the locals and not locals. It's really cool.
Well, I imagine too. Sorry, Daniel.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I imagine that you're aspiring some other young gal or boy to be an artist too.
I hope so.
Think that there's a career, there's something that can be made of.
I do get a lot of people, I get quite a few people reaching out and asking just certain questions, and I'm more than happy to like point them in the right direction.
That's great.
And they're like, how do you print it, or how do you make them into prints and all the things? And so, it's
awesome.
And you're not holding nothing back. You kind of
no, I want them to do it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How often are you doing, I know you have your independent stuff, someone hits you up, you're going to do a painting for them, a project for them, but how often are you deciding, like, I'm going to do a show, like a First Friday, or like the thing at Double Shovel, or like, is there a place, a certain amount of weeks that you decide that you're going to have your art up?
I kind of look for the year and just start laying it out. Like,
okay.
I always like fill my plate full. I'm really good at that. Overfilling most of the time, just barely pulling everything off.
Isn't that easy? It's so easy to do.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. No problem.
Yeah, sure.
Sign me up.
That day's free.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's actually my goal this year. Before some like big changes, I was even going to start just not doing any shows and like slowing down quite a bit with that, because I feel like I'm at a point that I'm just doing pretty good. People kind of know my artwork, and I like did the hustling for a little bit, and now I just want to create a lot. So I want to just like bust out. So this is the beginning of a series of all of Alaska animals. The White Owl Collection is what I'm calling it.
Nice.
So I want to do as many as I want to do. I want people to be able to put them on their wall in like a triptych. So you can pick out your 3 favorite and like put them on the wall together, or like do something in that style. But I think it would be really cool for me as an artist too, just to not focus on the shows. Like
it's a whole different thing.
focus more on creating and like evolving my artwork. That's the biggest thing. Is like I don't feel like I'm even like come close to like tapping into like what is like in there creatively and like what I can do. So like I just want to get there, and when I'm filling my time with shows, I'm like not getting there because I'm doing all the busy work.
Like you have a foundation, but you can really build off of.
I want to spend a lot more time just like diving super deep, trying different things, like going out of the box, not worrying about like, oh, well, this person wants this, so I have to create this in the same style I always do.
Or folks getting too fixated on maybe a classic style that they like about yours, so that's like all they're drawn to, and something different that they like your art and they see you do something different, like, oh wow, like that.
That's happened actually this last time. One of the last gallery shows that I did at Dos Manos, I tried a few different like out of the box,
like off the wall type stuff.
And people loved it. Like I got such good feedback from it.
Cool.
Oh, that's encouraging.
All of my originals sold there in the first 24 hours. So it was a great success.
That's so neat. And probably part of that process is like getting outside, right? Like
that's
being in the plane,
for sure.
like traveling different places, seeing different things, like what there are different points in your life, right? And like what's speaking to you, and then that's gonna facilitate through and show and like in your artwork.
Absolutely. That's where it all comes from. If I wasn't doing the things that I do, I wouldn't be inspired to do this, because when I'm out there, it like creates that inspiration and the feeling, and like
you're in that space.
That's what I like strive to do, is like recreate the feeling of being in that place and experiencing that activity and or that just the vibe of out there.
Yeah, because there's nothing like it.
Like a specific view or angle of something where it just sears in your mind, like, ooh, I'm going to use that. You see so much stuff when you're flying around.
Yeah.
I mean, you see things and
depending on like the time of day, and like the northern lights have been insane lately. So I'm sure you're just like, oh my God, do I need to do something with that? Or like, you know, these clear nights with like these amazing sunsets, I'm sure just bringing like
tonight's sunset was amazing.
Just making your brain.
You were probably in the studio a little earlier.
Yeah, it was great. See it right there.
I was talking about it on the way.
It was hot, fiery pink.
Yep.
I mean, it was
cotton candy.
Yeah, it was gorgeous tonight.
Nice.
The spring, man.
Love
spring
it.
is
She
just
coming.
The spring
I
vibes.
think the last 2 days, you know, the road's wet. I usually hate when the roads get sloppy.
Like break up.
Well, my truck has the big stupid tires on it, so it slings up the side, and my mirrors and my windows and everything gets all nasty every day.
Stupid.
But
so cool.
But I'm looking I'm pulling out of the rink tonight, and I look at that mountain of snow that's like 80 feet high on C Street.
Oh yeah, the snow pile.
And my daughter's like, Dad, when do you think that thing's gonna melt? I'm like, I don't know, July.
If that, probably not.
I mean, it's just so monstrous.
Yeah, and they keep piling.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna be looking at snow until July, dude.
For sure.
It's insane.
So before you go full no art show, what is there some stuff still lined up in 2023 that people can come see?
Yeah, I'm doing the Girdwood Forest Fair.
Okay.
And then I'm hoping to
Is that
still
like the July-August one? When is that?
Yeah, it's like 4th of July weekend usually.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed back there.
Bad boys.
I got 86. I got blackballed. Well, hold on a second. How do you get blackballed from that?
That's a story for
Off the mic?
Patreon.
Sorry, Meg, continue.
Oh, what else am I doing? I've got a show. I do an annual show at the Girdwood Brewery every year.
Okay.
Yep.
When is that?
Usually the beginning of November. So
Like right before Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good
Right
one.
before a lot of time
Yeah.
things happen.
Yep. There's gonna be a lot going on, so we'll see.
Emily, don't look at me like that. I stopped.
So that's it. That's the cutoff.
Okay.
And when summer
that's-
hits, it's like
I'm doing the Great Alaska Aviation Gathering. So I'll have a booth there right next to the Super Cub that they raffle off.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa. They raffle off a plane?
They raffle off a
Where do I get the
carbon
tickets?
Cub
Yeah, man, that's
on
wow.
the Alaska Airmen Association's website.
Can we go ahead and bring that up?
Yeah. I want some. I want some
They're
of
like,
those
I
tickets.
think they're $50 a piece.
I'll
and
take
Oh man.
40.
I'm trying to get a plane.
Hey, can we go in on these raffle tickets?
Is
too?
that the one that Jake was helping and they painted it? I think that
Maybe.
is the one.
Probably.
We pulled it up. It was black and yellow.
We were talking about
Yeah, we were
it.
talking about that the other day.
I think I got pictures of it on the damn. Here, hold on.
On the
It's the
damn.
build right there, the raffle build. It's right there. Third one down.
Right
Don't go
here.
to your own little thing.
Well, it's just photos that homie sent me.
It's probably the same ones that are here.
Buy tickets.
Go to the build and back up.
Oh, sorry.
Up, 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 up.
Oh,
Build
builder
bio?
blogs. No, I thought it was going to show it.
Okay, as I was saying. Where's my, I got the plane.
So that was the plane, the black and yellow one.
Right there.
yeah, it's yellow this year.
Okay, there it is. Yeah.
So that's a Carbon Cub.
Oh, that's not the one for this year.
It's not.
I don't. Well, it's not, I don't.
But
think
I'd take
it's
it. That's
advertising.
sexy.
Yeah, I'll take any of them.
God, those things are so cool. Like I said, hang glider. It's like all tires and a little bit of plane.
Look at that! How close that one hanging right above it is.
Yeah, right on top.
I hope that's suspended properly.
Oh, it's flying. It just flew,
Oh, sure.
flew through.
It's stalling.
Damn, man. Like, what is a Cub going for these days?
Um.
Like a hot boy like
120.
that.
Oh, like a Carbon Cub.
Jake told us,
through-
remember? It was like
Carbon Cubs.
It was
That's a
like
whole nother-
300 or
or
something for that one.
I have a short memory of
But you
things of
can-
this nature.
Like you can find it. I mean, everything went up during COVID. Cubs went through the roof. You used to be able to find them for like 70, 80, 90,000 in the States and fly them up here like a good one. And then now they're all over 100. It's like 150, 120. I don't know. They're starting to go back down. So,
You're plane inflated, though.
yeah.
Big time.
Yep. Yeah, definitely paid for my private or
All
my
of it?
license. Yeah.
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 Cool.
You're going to
And
come
then,
out.
so the thing too, when we were talking about earlier, is having a plane. It's like if you get your license, you plan on being a recreational pilot, doing it for fun. After you get your license, like you're gonna have to get a plane, or you just keep renting. But then you're always having to like line up the days, and then if the date like the days don't work out with the weather, you can't just be like, it's nice, let's go. You know.
There's no turbo.
Do you try
Turo, I mean.
Turo.
Turo for planes?
Yeah, right.
Turo
Not
for
yet,
Super
but
Cups.
there probably will be
Hey.
soon. Do you
Good
try
idea.
and
That's a good idea.
like set a certain amount of hours that you want to like fly a week to stay proficient?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't do it by the week. I just fly
Sure.
as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried to just crank out the hours. The last
Because
little
that's not something you can do casually. Like,
no, and you don't want to half-ass this
uh-uh.
at all. So that's kind of like buying the plane. Well, I'm all in. I'm not half-assing it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm
going flying whenever I can.
Do you have a favorite route?
Good
Like, I like to go
I've
this
got
way.
I've got a couple. Yeah, I do.
Do you like to keep those under wraps?
No, one of my favorite places, because I'm in Girdwood and it's a really short flight, is
Right over Upper Huffman, or
Yeah, right there. It's a lot going on.
there's so much going on down there.
from Girdwood fly out to Harriman Fjord and go up Harriman Fjord to College Fjord. And that is just
Yeah.
like insane. You're out there in like 10, 15 minutes. And it's just, it's mind blowing.
Steep.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff on my Instagram with videos of that. And
Sick.
yeah, and then that's like
You can
inspired some paintings of mine.
Bust over to like Kinnick. Is that where you kind of like go back around?
Yeah, you can go like then from, because the
Lake
back
George
of College.
and all that back there.
Yeah, the back of College Fjord is Marcus Baker, the
Marcus
highest mountain
Baker.
in
That's the
the
one.
Chugach, and then you
Yeah.
can come from there. I mean, you're not going up over Mount Marcus Baker, but you're going
Yeah.
next to it, and you can go down the Kinnick and then Lake George and all that, and back up over to Girdwood.
I mean, it's just so close. It's crazy how
so
like that
close.
pocket of
And-
amazingness is all
I
just
know, it's insane.
It's so accessible. I mean, via the air.
when you're in a
Yeah.
airplane.
So
Yeah.
cool.
As the bird flies, it's
Well, it's crazy when you go on a boat, whether you go on a ride into Kinnick, or you go take a boat up into the arm or the fjords in there, and you just think about how massive it is and what it looks like, and like, you could ever set foot on it. And then it's like really the way the crow flies, just like right over there. Just boop. Yeah. It's like you don't think of how close everything is when you're on the water looking at it, or on the sandbar looking, at Kinnick, and it just looks like it goes forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
It's like, man, if you look on a map, it's just like right there. It's wild how, it blows my mind. Just when you look at maps sometimes, you're like,
I geek out on maps, man.
You're like, I'm going to just look at this one spot. Oh, what's that? What's over there?
Thing you know,
it's so close to that.
I'm in the Brooks Range over here. What's all this? What's this like?
How'd I start in Homer and end up in Coldfoot? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So we got dirt biking, powder hounding, flying, painting. What's number 5?
I'm a retired whitewater kayaker.
What?
Yeah.
I saw the kayaking pictures.
Yeah, that was a huge part of my life for a long time. I traveled all over the world kayaking.
Do you do 6 mile?
I used to do 6 mile for fun by myself.
What?
Yeah.
You're a psycho.
Oh, it was psycho.
Jesus.
Doesn't that thing take lives?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Have you watched the one documentary about the dude who wanted to do the ones in Tibet or whatever? You want to do like the 5? Dude, there's so many rad kayaking
there is.
Are those just the extreme of the extreme?
Oh my God, dude. Because they're like having a hike up these things with the kayak. And it's like a 30-day mission. Like they hike in and they go down all these things and they go up another one.
Yeah.
I wish I knew the name of it.
I think, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's sick. I want to say it's on Netflix or HBO Max.
So kayaking up here is kind of what really sparked my, I'm getting my pilot's license now. I can't wait anymore. Because I have friends that I kayak with, and I kayak 6 mile with, and they're pilots. And they're talking to me, like, I'm like, how do you have a Super Cub? And like, my other friend has a 180, and I was like, just...
How do you do
that? Like, how did you guys do this? And they started, like, telling me how to do it. And I was like, okay. They're like, it's not, like, you can do it. And I was like, really? Like, I don't know. Can I really? I'm not sure. They kept talking me into it and, like, explaining the whole process. And then it wasn't until one of my friends picked me up in a Super Cub. And he was like, do you just want to go over to the Neocolas for
quick
for
rip?
just
a quick rip?
The next couple of days. Like, there's 2 kayaks over on Lake Clark, and we might be able to go paddle this, like, first descent on this river. And I was like, yeah.
No, that sounds boring.
I think I'll pass.
I don't know.
So I, like, gather all my stuff in the next, like, hour or so, put it all together, jump in the Super Cub, fly across the inlet, and we're over in Lake Clark, got a float plane ride into the Kijik River, and we paddled this, like, Class 5 river down into Lake Clark. It was insane. And then another plane landed, and we did an airplane shuttle with the boats. I was like, what?
Oh.
What is my life right
all
now?
Get set up?
Yeah, they just knew
And that's
how to
just
do
what they
all
do.
that. I was like, all right, well, I'm done. Now I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The next couple years of my life. Now I can't unsee this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and then add skiing, like being able to, like, have your plane to go skiing. And I was like, and here are my friends that, like, figured it out. I'm like, I can figure this out. So that was really the beginning of me figuring it out. Then I bought my plane 2 months later.
Wow.
You just didn't
So
want to look.
crazy.
You didn't want to look back.
I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm like, fuck, man. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm calling.
I mean,
in
this
sick.
like represents everything Alaska Wild Project is here to, like, share with the world, Meg.
Cool.
I mean, seriously. I mean, to just share with the world, someone listening in whatever country, because we have people that listen all over the world here, to aspire to do something that you might think is not possible. I mean,
Well
it
said.
feels like you're making the shit up. But I believe every word you're saying. I'm hanging on it.
Yeah.
And I know you're not full of shit. You're actually telling us what you do. And I mean, it's, life is more than just maybe a security blanket of a career and, insurance and PTO and
What day you go to Costco?
the safe bet. Like if you want to live and do some shit.
Like she's like living proof. It can be more than just like a pipe dream.
Thank you,
just
Emily.
like
That's what I'm trying to say, man.
you remove like the fear aspects and like the what if this and what if, like, take those out of it and like, yeah, I want a plane. I'm gonna get a plane, and then you just do that. Like it's pretty amazing. And if more people lived that way, like there would be a lot happier people on the earth.
There'd be no teachers.
Well,
there still would be some
no art
teachers.
There'd be no art teachers.
There are instructors.
Yeah.
They teach you how to fly in whitewater kayak. But, Emily and I were talking about this weekend. We had some great conversations, and I won't go into crazy depth, but just pulling the pulling the safety off. You know what I mean? Like there's obviously calculated risk and calculated things that you got to do to make these endeavors successful longevity wise, but you do eventually have to just get out of your comfort zone and go for it.
You gotta lean in.
At some point you have to just take the leap, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but I feel like when it does, it pays off in a lifestyle and experiences that can just never be, you can't make it up. Like it's real. Like someone like Meg is doing the shit, and it's so inspiring, man.
Thanks.
Like what you do is sick. I mean, it's
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
like I am just like listening to your stories. I'm like,
I'm quitting my
real,
job tomorrow.
man. Like I'm just about ready to.
What was that website you said about the planes?
I'm gonna buy a dirt bike tomorrow and go jump that fucker 100 feet and see what happens after. Like, might buy a plane.
Film me.
Get my shot.
I'm not gonna do that, but I'm just saying.
Well,
What time is Blaine's close?
dust those brushes off. But to what you were saying, like sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and like a lot of times it doesn't, and you just have to like pick yourself back up and try again. I think that's like
It's even better
for me the biggest thing that I'm not afraid of. I'm not afraid of like falling,
or failing.
picking myself back up and trying again. And making an idiot out of myself, like trying something new.
A lot of time that just fear paralyzes people from trying anything new. Or that's why they stay in their lane and they stay doing what they're doing because it's familiar and that's what they know. And even though it's boring and their life is miserable, it's familiar.
Yeah.
So they don't try anything new. And it's like, I think I said the same thing to you. It's like so far outside your comfort zone that you forget like how to get back, and then you just keep.
Oh, now you're just
You just keep going. It's like that lane. I don't even remember that one, and then you just keep branching off and going. And I wish more people would live like
We
that.
just start to stay out of your lane.
Yeah.
Well, and part of that, what ensues after that is you start interacting and hanging out with people that are doing the same thing, and then the connections and the relationships, and it just snowballs, into this connection and this opportunity, and then this guy and this gal, and then this call and this email, and then all of a sudden it just goes out of control for the better, right? And
you're doing commercials for Alaskan USA and getting emails from Natural Selection, like do our artwork. It's like
Daniel's got a new debit card that's got your art on it.
Yeah.
Like how serendipitous.
Weird.
That art piece is
making in my wallet.
that art piece is a really good story. That was how I was saying the graphic pieces, kind of I take an adventure, some inspiration from being out doing something and turn it into a graphic art piece. That one was from a ski camping trip in the Wrangell Mountains. And
dope.
I was just there last year.
Yeah.
Well, you even put the shooting star in there. That's dope.
And the original piece has Northern Lights in it too. Alaska USA.
So anyone listening right now, if you bank with
Get that
Alaska
Pepper
USA,
Pig. Get
pull
the
out
Pepper-
your
what? You
Visa.
better- Sorry.
Pull out your check card, and if you have the mountain scene, blue background, shooting star in the middle, that's our girl, Meg Smith.
Oh, Megan.
That's so dope. That is so dope.
She certainly qualifies for a megalodon.
Ooh, the Megalodon. We like to give nicknames around here.
That's a
So
good
we got
one.
we got our like our maintenance guy whose name is Don. And I got another awesome Don.
No one calls him Don.
But they're Dons, they're not Megans.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh, I'm
Ooh,
the
the
mega.
female. Ooh, the female Megalodon.
you're the Meg.
Megalodon.
Not the Meg.
The
God, I wish that's what you're playing with. Maybe the next one.
Donatello.
Oh, we
Maybe the
called it
super
Maybe the
Meg.
cub. That's
The
a
cub.
that's
Call
a
her
pretty
the Meg.
appropriate name.
The Meg.
Megalodon.
The
The
Megalodon.
megalodon.
What color is your next
The
one gonna be,
Megalodon.
you think?
You should do a whole thing on it. You should get.
Plum?
I don't know. I call it Super Cub Purple.
That's
Yeah.
way
Hey.
cooler.
That's,
Sorry, guys.
Every time I say
I dropped
this color,
plum.
it's
That's
just
kind of lame.
because this is
Super
what
Cub
color I
Purple.
want my plane.
Yeah.
Did you guys
This
call
and
each
black.
other about the color you're gonna wear?
We didn't.
tonight?
We're
That's
just a
funny.
vibe.
Hey, you know what? We might have one of these
cute.
for you.
Those are that is
Yeah.
an insanely close color match.
It really is.
Wow.
That is good.
I do.
We're a vibe.
we need to
should
put
have-
those
we should
out.
have.
We need to put those out for all the ladies. We're
we
looking
need
at
to order some
Emily's crew neck Super Cub plum
That's exclusive
with the
order.
lavender. With the lavender. logo.
That's a members only type
This
shit.
is the
you know
first
what I'm
time I've
saying?
worn it. I like it.
They're cozy
That's
too.
nice. Man, I hope we have one in your size.
Now that you promised her one.
I know. If not, I'll make one
yeah,
for you.
we're
We
gonna
will make
order one
for you.
for
You know,
you.
also
Super Cub?
would fit
The Meg.
her, one of the tank crop tops that I had made would fit her really well.
Oh,
I had
hook her
some-
up, man.
It's at home.
Heck yeah.
I'll
Oh,
bring
you're
it to
gonna be
Girdwood.
swagged
Sweet.
out.
Swagged out.
Yeah.
Crop top.
We'll be right
And
back.
she's a flat
We'll
bill
be
girl.
right back. Oh, she's a flat bill. We got so many
shit,
flat
we got
bills.
flatties all day.
Yeah, we're not a curve bill kind of crew.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of Old Cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies. And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I got a little trivia here. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. We'll see what kind of game you got, girl.
I'm gonna. Phew.
Just so for the record, Jackie Lau, you know old Jack Lau,
Yes.
double shovel. He's our trivia guy, and he's off the mic tonight, but he brought the trivia, and so for the record, this is Jack concocted this trivia.
The winner
us
gets
tonight.
a shot of that Lagavulin. How about that?
You nailed it this time.
Did I? Did I say it
You
right?
did. You said it right.
Cool then.
Oh yeah.
Are you a
my
Scotch drinker?
Dude from work brought that, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Gary Weaver.
yeah.
Shout out to Gary, firefighter. Yeah. Yeah.
Meg, I know, man.
Hey, I can
God
edit. I can
damn.
edit this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thank God. Thank God you can cut it out. Just in case I vomit, just cut it, that shit.
Trivia. Art in
Let's go.
Alaska.
Ooh.
Okay. No pressure.
But I ain't getting it. So.
Hey, I think I got 2 out of 3 right last time. Jack's
me?
so good at this shit, man.
Oh.
All right.
Ask me this question.
What type of art is northern Alaska known for?
Alaska Native art.
We need a little bit more specific. You're right up the alley.
I'm gonna say like beaded pieces.
Okay.
Rephrase the question.
Rephrase it.
What type of art is
Rephrase,
northern
yeah.
Alaska known for? What type of art do they do in northern Alaska that's most famous?
Northern.
We normally
ancestor.
have really bad music that goes along with
Yeah, right. Elevator music.
this. But
We can edit that in.
no, we didn't want to
Like some
get
shit
kicked
out of
off of
Austin
YouTube,
Powers.
so we need to find an actual Alaskan jingle person.
Well,
to
we
make this
had
up.
okay, for the record, we had a jingle.
We did,
And
but
it was weird and creepy.
it didn't get
I
flagged.
mean-
But I couldn't find it again. It was so
Oh, funny.
old. Because you'll get flagged on YouTube. They'll kick your shit. You can't monetize it and stuff. So we need like our own.
Sure.
We want our own.
Yeah.
So it's ours.
Do they do like carvings in walrus tusks or like some kind of
Ivory.
animal?
Okay. So okay.
Nordic
Good guess.
ancestry art.
Good guess. That's yours.
Yeah, sure.
That's very vague. I said northern. You said northern art.
No, I said Nordic ancestry art.
Fuck is Nordic ancestry?
Okay.
I mean, you tell
Meg,
me.
Meg was right.
Oh,
Ivory carvings.
Ooh. Nice.
Ivory
shit.
carvings. So losers have to take the shot.
damn. So the Alaska Native art.
Can you get
display,
the actual the glass?
Let me get cups. Yeah.
Yeah, real quick.
The Alaska Native art show was at the Diamond Center this last weekend.
Oh, right on.
And so I had to go to the Diamond Center. Well, number one, because I went to go get some stuff for my
Some
daughter for her
Nikes.
birthday. Oh, yeah. She got
You had to
hooked
go to
up.
Dave and Buster's.
And
Oh, the
that was
kids
the
had a great
after. Yeah. So I went to this Diamond Center, and I couldn't find a parking spot.
Really? The whole center?
The front to back, dude. I'm talking
This weekend?
this last
Everyone was
weekend.
downtown.
Ferrari.
But everybody was also at the Diamond Center for the native art
Okay.
displays.
We'll get into the Ferrani after this because
Okay.
it was cracking.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Alaska is really
It's coming back,
showing
baby.
up, man. I mean, if you can get the
Just a
Ferrande started, thank you, love. If you can get the Alaska Native Art display going at the Diamond Center, if you can do the Alaska Wild Sheep Foundation banquet, and then I think there was an Iditarod banquet or something. Or was that Friday night?
I don't know.
My point is every venue was packed.
Yep.
So there was enough people that went out on this last weekend to go to these things, and everyone show up. Like, doesn't that? Before I used to take that for granted so much. Like, oh, you know, whatever. It's like now you get out there and it's something that should be valued.
Yeah.
That everybody's going to get out and support these things. You know, and then there's enough people to actually go around and do it.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, I haven't been to the Diamond Center in forever where you couldn't. Oh, yes. Warm up the soul.
Losers.
Yeah. Okay, so the first question was
I'm a happy loser.
the first question was
Gary?
the Northern Alaska, right? Was ivory carvings. Good job,
It's
Meg.
real peaty.
The second Jack trivia question is: what art
Smile. Turn that frown
is
upside down.
Southwest Alaska known for?
Totems.
Southwest.
Oh, southwest.
Good guess. Very good guess. So totems.
Oh wait, I was thinking southeast though.
Yeah, good call. Jump the gun.
Yeah.
Might be taking a shot of scotch.
I'm gonna say
Southwest.
I'm gonna say like salmon art.
Oh, son of a
Good.
bitch.
Good guess.
I'm thinking Bristol Bay,
Already got it.
Nushgak. I mean, what kind of art is Southwest?
You want to look at the map? Just maybe.
I got it.
Look at this right here. This right there.
Over in that, like
See that?
above the
You see
Over
that?
in the
above the
armpit.
chain, just right above the
Right
chain,
above
and that
the,
one
the
on
right
the
knuckle, the second knuckle to the
middle knuckle. You said salmon.
Yep. She said that was actually a really good guess.
I mean, she took my answer. I was going to say salmon, but I'm going to stay on fish. Like trout, dollies, char, like a
chart
art. No,
Chart?
No,
Chart.
chart.
Is that like a shart or a blart?
Let's go with trart. That'd be trout.
Got it.
and art.
Got it. You're all wrong. The answer is
perfect.
baskets.
Oh, baskets.
And let's go
Right,
ahead and
weaving
get some more of that
baskets and all that.
peaty Scotch
I'll
going
take
there,
I'll take
Emily.
one for because you were really
homies.
close. I'll
Yeah.
take one for the guest
Yep.
because she has to
Megalodon.
drive home, and
The
we're
Meg.
responsible people here. Just go all the way back to Girdwood. And
Oh,
the
shit,
last
you gotta drive
question,
home to Girdwood tonight.
Yeah.
she flew. Her plane's out there.
Oh, that's right. I seen that over there on the side of Dowling.
Just landed right on Dowling there.
Landed to fuel up real quick.
She's in the Napa Auto Store parking lot over there. Old Tay Tay chilling.
Oh, Tay Tay out there. We need a song for Tay Tay.
Oh,
We
Is there a
do.
Tay Tay song?
I don't know.
Does it feel like it needs to be like a 2000s club hit, or is that too
I feel like it needs to be
older school? Like old
like
school.
all the single ladies.
That's what I'm
something
saying.
Like,
Like,
that,
something
like
like,
a Beyond. But she said classic.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
was
something
some
like
more like
Like Leonard Skinner.
or like what about like
Homegirl.
like Joan Jett or
Yeah.
okay.
Pat
Cherry
Benatar or
bomb.
like some because I mean my plane is from 46.
Okay. You got to choose a song from
Shit,
46.
46.
Well, that might be a little too old.
Ooh.
That's like some like I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit, Gary.
Twang. Some straight twang. All right. Third. Let me hit this real quick.
I don't think I can. It's not very good.
You don't like it?
Oh, do you?
So peaty.
Oh, I do love it. It's not like a shooter. You need to sip on it.
It's
That's
hot.
rough. Thanks.
Does it
Glenn.
kind of feel like you went and licked the paneling in the studio?
Yeah.
It just tastes like wood.
Yep.
Tastes like burnt wood.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
We hit burned wood all the time. You know what I'm saying?
What artwork is most known for from Central and Interior Alaska?
Damn.
The middle.
Yeah.
Fur.
Midsection. Nice.
Great guess. Great guess.
The Meg.
LaDon.
Megalodon.
That's the name of your plane. LaDon. It's like LaDon. LaFonda,
It's
but
just LaDon. What do you mean it's
LaDon.
LaDon? Well, I'm
LaDon.
Megan. That's
What you mean?
LaDon. I'm Megan. That's LaDon.
Now you know. That's it.
That's the name of the show.
Yep.
Megalodon.
Megalodon.
Put a little dinosaur up.
A megalodon's a shark. Damn it. I know you keep doing your little fingers.
But it's like kind of prehistoric, so
You never
know,
see
you're-
Sounds like
It's like
it.
my kid's
you're
favorite movie,
going
The
in the right
Meg.
direction.
Sharks.
Isn't it one of those, like, it's really kind of cheesy, but if you watch it a couple times, it just seems to stick?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, it's not, it's kind of like Sharknado.
How about when
Whenever
the
it's on, you just got to kind of watch it.
Sharknado?
Yeah, 1 through 5.
Yeah, that's like Frankenhooker.
No, it's so bad, you have to watch it.
I mean, I can't watch movies like that.
Yeah. Not with that attitude.
No,
Yeah,
that's
man.
a bad. I'm sorry. Why be such a negative asshole?
Okay, Central
got
and
it, I
Interior
got it.
Alaska. She said fur art. Go ahead, Brandon. Or
Do you got something?
I did and I lost it.
I was thinking like costumes, or like apparel, like beads
got
and
it.
Okay.
skins.
Flowers,
ooh,
floral,
floral art.
forget me nots, floral, fireweed,
Yeah.
something that's
really good
like,
guess.
yeah.
I like your guess too. Fur.
So
But
who's drinking the scotch?
You guys are. Meg was right. It's bead. It's beadwork.
damn it.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
But now I'm curious on the southeast because
Yeah.
we didn't cover that one. But I bet it is totem.
Yeah,
How are you
That's
going to
all
hit all the regions and miss the Southeast?
Listen, this is Jack's trivia, not Daniel's.
Jack.
Thanks, Jack. You
But he
really
hit us with
effed
3
us.
really good ones. Hit us with
Really
really
effed
good
us.
ones.
Yeah, he did.
Come
Those
on.
are good ones, but it's got to be totems. Or ravens.
Maybe look it up.
I would think it would be
Southeast, Alaska
totem.
More like
Southeast.
I'm on it. On it.
Yeah. Totems for sure. You been down there a lot at all? Southeast Sitka, Juneau?
I did a artist residency
Oh, you
there
did?
with the National Park Service, actually the Forest Service.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I love the Southeast.
Oh, it's so cool.
Oh
Me
my
too,
God,
man.
it's so beautiful. So much cool stuff going on down there.
Yeah, I went to Pack Creek off of Admiralty Island.
Mm-hmm.
So the other highest concentration of brown bears besides
Katmai.
Katmai. Yeah, thanks.
I meant to ask you. You're talking about your white. What did you call it again? The white edition.
The whiteout collection.
The whiteout collection. So is it going to be all animals that have winter white colors?
No, not necessarily, but I'm gonna try to find the white in them to blend it out into like the white
Okay.
geometric background.
So that'll be the last trivia. We did this trivia before, so Brandon should know this. What are
I
the?
know
I want to
for
say
sure.
the 5 animals that are white in Alaska.
Goat.
Ptarmigan,
Ptarmigan.
Mink,
Mm-hmm.
Arctic fox.
white
Ooh.
owl,
Mink,
snowy owl.
No polar
snowy
bear,
owl.
no polar
So maybe
bears.
it's 6. I think we ran into this problem
Polar
too.
bear.
One of them's
Polar
not
bear?
one of them's
Sheep?
not technically
Yeah.
it.
Sheep.
Is ptarmigan not technically?
No,
because they
technically it's white.
change.
Yeah, well, technically white in the winter.
I mean, there have been
It is
some
What
about
sightings of some
beluga?
albino moose.
Belugas?
Yep, belugas. I like
Belugas.
that.
Oh, belugas was on there.
Aren't some of the Oh, you did say mink. Did some of the it's not mink, but the other not marmot.
Ermine.
Yeah, some of those get white too,
Ermine
right?
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a big
I
collection,
want to
girl.
feel like it's
Hey,
a
don't
full,
ever
yeah.
discount the seagull either. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
The
it's a
seagull.
full. I think
You got that in the white collection?
You know,
Alaskan bird.
no,
it wasn't on the list.
that is
but
a bird that doesn't get a lot of run, man. A good old seagull. Poor guy. I just man. You guys ever dip netted the Kenai?
Yes.
You ever dip netted the Kenai when them gulls are
Circling.
they're
When
they're-
you're filleting on the boat and
no,
they just
well,
you
there's
can,
that.
like-
No, I'm talking about when they're birthing. They got their baby
oh no.
yeah, I've
right
seen
on the
that.
bank.
Mm-hmm.
So you come off, if you come off the main public launch and you smash through all the commercial boats, and you hit the corner where it's like super turbulent, on the right side on that curve on that high bank, they're all nested up right there.
Yep.
And if you catch them at the right time, they'll have those little baby gray
Oh yeah,
little
Little
seagulls
fur balls.
crawling on the edges. Yeah, and the poor things will fall over sometimes the edge. And
Yeah,
it's just like,
dude, that happens downtown in Anchorage.
oh no,
All the time.
One of the facilities under our company has nests,
Yeah.
and they'll dive bomb you in like
big time.
mid July.
Oh
That's
yeah.
part of the Proby's job downtown is to go up on the roof at Station 1 and like
The what job?
Proby's, the new guys.
Probation boys.
Probies.
Probies.
Gary.
Yeah. Gary.
Gary's out there clearing seagulls.
Gary,
man.
get up on the roof.
Gary, hey, he brought us a scotch. Go get those seagulls out of there, you fucking guy.
He will. He will. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers to
Oh,
Gary.
man, we have
Yeah,
another
yeah,
one. Jesus Christ.
One more. You guys
Big
lost.
losers.
Southeast Alaska is known for its woodwork art.
I
So that's
totem,
totally.
woodwork.
Dang, you're 4 for 4.
Nah, I didn't get the. What was the?
You said
west?
totem. You
I get the
Oh.
salmon.
Nobody got that one, right?
Yeah, what was
What's the
But you were on to something. You said
West.
totem, and totem poles are made out of wood.
Yeah,
So you really were right.
for the southeast one. But what
And we
was the
didn't-
one that was like southwest or
Beads or basket.
baskets? That's it.
Yeah.
the basket weaving?
Well, you got into the
Still
fish.
throwing us
You got
off.
into the fish thing.
Yeah.
Someone did.
I said
And that's kind of, I
salmon.
think, where it started with the fish basket, where the fish traps.
Yeah, and how they
They're
fish
made
for
out
him.
of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then the beating of the baskets to hold things like
Okay,
that.
that kind of
Oh,
qualifies.
yeah.
And you
Well,
still
too
drank
late-
for
too
us.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah, too late now.
Well,
for
I
sure.
was thinking baskets. I always think about baskets and like berry picking, filling berries with the baskets with
Yeah,
berries.
I was thinking when he said basket, fish baskets, like how they used to catch fish.
Before we I want to get into the Iditarod and Eddie and stuff. I didn't ask, like, what kind of paint do you use?
Acrylic.
Acrylic paint.
Yep.
Okay. And how many brushes would you say you have?
A lot, but in my like usual set that I'm painting with, probably 7 I'll use on a painting.
Do you know the homie with the puffy hair?
The homie with the puffy hair.
Yeah.
Come on, girl.
You never
like
seen
on Channel
that?
7?
Come on, dog, PBS.
Bob Ross. Yeah.
Was Channel 7 the right channel?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought you were talking about a brush because I've got a brush that kind of looks like Bob Ross's
Why
head.
did I say Channel 7? You're like, oh,
Yeah,
Bob Ross.
Oh, yeah, PBS. Okay, yeah, yep.
Checks out.
Did you watch that documentary
Checks out.
on him?
I
Not yet.
did.
Oh,
Man,
my
that
God.
was-
Is it
I was
good?
bummed because I've got some Bob Ross. I've got a Bob Ross
Stuff.
bobblehead like on my art whole setup, and I'm like ask him questions. I'm like, "What do you think, Bob?" Yep.
Yeah.
And then I saw that documentary, and I was like,
Send
Nope.
it back.
Oh, what do you mean? Bob Ross is not
I don't
want to
ruin about it, but someone got him. You know how it is.
Someone got him.
Someone say, I'll take half if we'll blow you up. Type of deal. Kind of like they did Elvis. I just watched the Elvis one. Same thing. Promoter, someone. Obviously, I mean, you're young. You don't know. You sign up. They're signing you a contract for your life or half your shit. And then
Hold on. All right. So minus the sellout part.
I wouldn't say sellout.
Was that what we're not talking about sellout?
No, I would say it's young and influenced by a smart business person.
But isn't
that-
Elvis and Bob Ross still the artist inside?
No, they're the artists, but it's the person that's not the artist.
The
That's the
producer?
businessman, the producer, whatever, that ends up like winning.
Winning?
Well, they both win. Okay. But in the end, one person's doing all the work. That's not true, though. I guess it takes a lot to like promote and do all this stuff. But anyway, it's about
Would
that.
Bob Ross be as
Bob Ross,
big as he is
Bob
today
Ross
if
signed
it
a
wasn't
contract
for
with this
whatever that is?
lady and her husband. I want to say, maybe it was just a lady, and end up, turned out bad.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Where like he doesn't own his stuff, and she can sell whatever she wants, and
Oh, shit.
just like that's a
I'm watching it.
long story.
"Yeah, you should watch it."
You should
Seemed
watch
like a
it. It's
sensitive
great.
subject for an artist. Like it was.
It is,
It's
man.
pretty
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Damn.
But also, I mean,
Bob is
man,
such a happy guy.
after I watched that movie last night with the Elvis thing, it's like, yeah, you're sad, but at that time, like, sure, you might have been able to still gain that much traction and gain that much attention and that much fame and fanfare and money and all that stuff. But like, this person didn't just sit around and do nothing to get that.
Yeah.
Do they deserve half? Probably not. But they still worked their entire lives to like.
Painting happy trees.
Bobbleheads don't just appear out of nowhere. Someone
Yeah.
had to have a meeting and talk to someone and make sure it was legit and do the pricing and do all the stuff. But unfortunately, you can't be an artist and the business person
Promoter
all the
and-
time. Like that doesn't work out all the time, and some people don't know both sides of it, so they get
Big
played.
time.
So it's a really good. I wish I knew. Actually, maybe look it up so we can tell people that are listening what it's called. Just put Bob Ross documentary. Maybe it's called. I don't know what it's called. Bob.
I
That
saw
rocked.
it pop up.
Called Happy Trees, probably.
Yeah, I think it is something like that. Actually, I think it is something like that. Oh yeah, it is right
called
there.
Happy
Happy
Accidents.
accidents.
Oh shit.
Okay, so Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal and Greed on Netflix.
Oh man, seems kind of dark. Okay, and shifting gears. Shall we talk about
Eddie.
Iditarod?
Yeah, I wanna talk about Iditarod.
2023.
Yo, shout out to Big Dog Eddie Burke.
Numero 18.
Number 18. Number 18, but he's sitting at number 7 today.
Awesome.
Obviously, by the time
Yeah,
this
it
comes
looks
out, it's probably going to be over.
Oh, it will be over. Yeah.
But just in order to like be on day 2 or day 3 up in the top 10 as a rookie,
That's awesome.
awesome for him.
Huge.
Go Eddie. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So my daughter went out with her mom and her aunts and uncles and cousins at the Willow Sunday.
Who are related to Eddie.
Yep, who are related
Cool.
to Eddie.
Eddie's sister.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
So what's
And-
that make Eddie to you?
He was a former brother-in-law.
Okay.
Well,
So
still a
it's
brother.
Candace's-
Ex-brother-in-law.
That's Candace's
Little brother.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Known him since he was 14.
Awesome.
Yep. Great kid, man. Eddie, he's not a kid. He's 30 now, but I still think of him.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a happy, aspiring, pretty much anything he takes on, he just could do. I want to box, so he boxes.
Yeah.
Goes down to California, tries to box professionally, does pretty well. No, that didn't work out. Comes up, gets in landscaping, paving, works his way up, can sell the shit out of a commercial and residential driveway. I mean, the kid just, it just isn't anything he doesn't try. So he gets inspired by going to a Iditarod banquet. And they basically, at the time, him and some buddies were following Iditarod, basically kind of like in football or sports, you do the fantasy. So they kind of created a fantasy Iditarod thing. So they picked a
Which is hilarious.
And then he was
Fantasy
like,
Iditarod League?
they like created a fantasy Iditarod league, and then he was like, well, I think I could do it. And then here we are, 4 years later, as he built a team of pups that grew up and matured, and now he's racing them. And you got to qualify. You can't just I'm going to do the Iditarod this year. No. You have to get a team. You need resources. You need people. You need support.
Yeah.
You got to race a few races. You got to win some shit. You got to prove that you're not going to kill your dogs. You got to prove that you're not going to kill yourself.
You have to be 100% in.
I mean, it's Meg.
He's one hundo in there.
I think it's 110 in. Like, it's beyond in, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think about him going across unbelievable, relentless miles of wild winter conditions with just him and his dogs. I mean, it's huge. And he's a rookie this year. And he's trained and he's in tune with his team. And he's done it the right way. I mean, you couldn't have done any more blueprinted as far as where you start, where you train, where you gain access and resources and people and support. And
I think the other rookie was a woman who broke her finger
during the race just now.
Yeah, she was going down the steps outside of Finger Lake. I forget what they're called, and she straight up, like, their fingers like
going that way.
Yeah, it's perpendicular.
I imagine she got to a checkpoint and somebody straightened it out,
but she had to she was donezo.
She's
really?
Oh, really?
No, she was the first person out.
Oh, fuck! It must have been bad then.
Oh, they showed the picture. It was,
your hands have to be fully functional to do all the
looks like this
stuff that you got. The full 90. It was
90.
straight up, and then now it's
that's straight left.
It's left. Funny, but not funny. But kudos to Eddie Burke, man. I got his race shirt on tonight. His promoter, Candace, manager, put these together.
Nice.
And yeah, man, she's managing.
Atta girl.
Yeah. And so he goes to fire off on 18. So they go in 5-minute increments out of Willow. He goes by. Kennedy's got her phone out, and she's filming her uncle rip by. Cracks open a beer. They go rip by, and he fucking.
The caribou call.
Full caribou call on the start of his race, man. I was
That's
like,
what's up.
classy move, Eddie Burke. Classy move.
You're my guy. You're my guy.
Yeah, man. So, I don't know if the Iditarod gets all the love and attention that maybe it once did back in our day.
I think it's back, man. I honestly
I like to.
I've worked
so.
the Iditarod for the last 20 years.
Yeah. How was your Saturday?
Yeah, tell us about your day.
It was insane. I will say that it's ridiculous that there's more people for the running of the reindeer than the Iditarod, but people come from all over the world for the running of the reindeer. Do you know that?
Is there any chance of getting trampled?
Zero.
Okay.
There's been they're announcing it, Brock and them, but actually Brock was one of them.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's been going on. I want to say 7 years or something like that. There has yet to be one incident where someone got trampled or gored or whatever.
Yeah.
But the way they do it, little fun fact, I don't know if this is true, but this is what they said. So all the caribou that are running are males, because they want ones with horns. Or antlers, I mean, sorry.
Oh,
Jeez,
shit.
guys. Cut the podcast off.
We'll fix it in editing.
It's not a problem.
They have a pheromone of a woman or lady caribou on the end, and all the caribou just run right to it.
I've heard that also.
Yeah.
Oh, they pick up the scent of a lady.
Yes,
Okay. It's not quite the rut, but it's close.
Yep.
So that's how they do it. That's how they get.
That's how they make them just like go to the other side, and it's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 blocks.
So what was your day like? Because you hit me up months in advance. Hey man, you want to come help me do it? And I'm like, yeah. Hold on, let me check. What's going on?
Well,
yeah,
everyone's like, "What's your day
weekend.
like?" I was like, "It doesn't just happen in one day.
No.
Like this is like a week process of like,
Oh, yeah.
getting all the
Costco
stuff,
runs,
cutting
onions.
the onions, buying all the stuff, being ready, like scoping it out. Like, where am I going to be? Is there snow there? You know, all that
For
stuff.
any new listeners, our boy Daniel here has a hot dog stand. Anchortown Dogs.
Hottest in town.
Anchortown Dogs about to fire up 2023.
Yep, get your dogs.
2 locations, 7th and E and
4th and F.
4th and F. That's the hot spot. This is really your initial weekend. This is where you kick off your season, right?
Yep.
This is where Jantina's like, how much money did you make on March?
This is where I use my Costco check.
Oh, your discount.
Well, it's not
Or,
discount.
or the refund. Or
No,
the,
they send you the check.
No.
You don't get a Costco check?
Yeah, it's like a dividend or
Yeah.
your
What? I guess
like your
I ain't
item.
They say-
premium, bro.
Oh, man, you gotta get,
certificates.
you gotta get
What's
business,
good?
girl. Executive.
I ain't buying in bulk, yo.
Oh, shoot.
just a
Well,
onezo dunzo. Like
I buy dog food.
you should be buying at Costco. They need somebody
do.
to
I
buy.
buy-
dog food, toilet paper, and laundry detergent. Like, what do you want
Yeah,
from me?
I ain't feeding a family of foe.
Yeah. Family of 2. So anyway, yeah, so it's a week-long process getting everything ready. But I mean, I try to get there early because all the roads are closed off. I always have to like tell the dude,
This is my spot.
like, I'm coming up F Street
yeah.
the wrong way because it's all blocked off.
Yep.
So there's always some dude who's never been there, that's never worked. Who's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to set up, man. They got me over here. And I just like pull up like a paper and I just like kind of wave it. And he's like, oh, okay.
That looks official.
And so I go in there and I'll turn around and I'll back it all up and I'm there like 8 in the morning. And people are ready to eat hot dogs at 8:30 in the morning.
Some breakfast dogs.
Yeah. Like they've been out there getting the dogs. I don't know what time the mushers get there. They must be there early.
Oh yeah, probably
Like
6, 7 o'clock in the
6,
morning.
5, you know. And it's insane during the Iditarod. There's just huge line. There's just tons of people. Everyone wants to eat reindeer. Everyone wants to have a hot dog. And then there's a lull because they don't have the run into the reindeer till 4 o'clock. So after all the dogs are done, then everyone's like, all right, well, I'm going to eat, go to F Street or go wherever, and then come back for running into the reindeer. And then when the running into the reindeer, I mean, you'd never see 4th Avenue like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
never.
every single
Shoulder to shoulder.
speck of property, deep all the way to every building, to every snowbank, is just like packed,
Yeah.
like crazy. And then everyone wants to have reindeer, which is like fucked up. Like we're cooking reindeer, and the reindeer are running by. It's all weird. I don't
Surprised
know.
those don't get shot while they're running.
Well, like the
Somebody's pulled out
K-Wolf
a
guys are
crossbow.
like, well, the one that's last, they'll be featured at, you know.
Oh God.
Indian Valley meats.
tackle your reindeer and get it for dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good eats, dude.
But it's a good event, and people come from all over the world. I mean, there's a lot of running of animals. If you look into it, there's like the running of the bulls in Spain, and there's like other ones around the world. So it's become really, really like probably the biggest event
Cool.
for Rondi and Iditarod.
Yeah.
And there's droves and droves, and so now they have like they have like the women's race, or the women's run, the men's run, the couples run, and then like the tourist run.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and these people are being taxed. Like it's like not cheap to run it.
Oh really?
And then cap it. So like people are paying, I don't know, $30-$40 to run it.
I didn't know that.
Just get involved in
And
it.
costumes, and everyone's got costumes, and
Oh, 'cause they're-
yeah, everyone's hammered. Just it's just Iditarod, dude. Furs everywhere,
Yep.
fur hats everywhere.
Gaudy outfits.
Yeah, everyone's just out there, just having a great time. Everyone's smiling.
Yeah.
It's like 3 degrees.
It was chilly Saturday.
It was so cold.
I
But
looked at,
also that like this is one of the first winters like where they haven't had to pillage the city for snow.
oh,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like abundant amounts of snow available, which is cool.
that's true.
But yeah.
Yeah, I talked to Mike Morgan. Did you hear about
Oh
Mike
yeah,
and Team
man.
10?
I heard, man.
They got fucking shut
man.
down,
Yeah, I heard
bro.
he did like he had a bump or something.
Yeah, and wadded
Not
up
a bump,
sled.
but
Oh, Mike did?
yeah,
they got
the
it
Iron Dog.
they had to bow out.
Shoot.
Yeah, he like
bummer.
a tree root. I want to say something like that,
Yeah,
and just
something
like
wadded
tore
up his
something
sled.
up.
And nothing that could be fixed.
Not in
Maybe-
time.
No, it was done. Yeah.
Oh, shit,
Um,
that sucks.
I was going somewhere with that. I was trying to go somewhere with the trail.
Snow.
Well, they go first.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There we
Boom,
go.
bam. There it is.
Back on
Snow.
track.
There it is. Well, I asked them because they started training right around the big snowstorm around December. That first, like, big dump.
Mm-hmm.
They start, getting their sponsorships and getting the sleds built and the prototypes and everything. And he said that once you got past, like, Squetna and into Rainy and then, where the Iron Dog Trail runs, he said there wasn't that much snow. So it was really like the south central Alaska range.
Yeah, I believe it.
And they had like
South.
hot. Oh no, they didn't have. I'm thinking about that Iditarod. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of curious. I'm wondering what the snow conditions are for the Iditarod boys right now.
Yeah. Well, it's
know?
funny how a lot of these storms have like also skirted around Girdwood, and like it's heavy in Anchorage, but they're not getting the same snow levels in Girdwood. So it's interesting which parts they're landing on.
All in all,
Yeah.
though, has Girdwood been pretty epic this year?
Yeah, it's been a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think flying around, now that the weather's been a little bit better, I'm actually seeing more of the snowpack, and there's not as much snow as there usually is around the mountains. Like some things that are usually totally plastered and like spine lines down the whole face, or still have like rocky cliffs
little
in the middle of
exposed.
them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was interesting to see. It just kind of made me a little bit more aware. I was like, oh, yeah, we've had some like really epic powder days this year, and it's just been kind of like weathery and snowing, but maybe it hasn't been as much as
Yeah,
like other years, or
interesting.
maybe it just hasn't been like plastering against the mountains, or I don't know. I think a lot of like some of those storms too, they were like coming up the the Cook,
Yeah.
and hitting Anchorage more.
Yep.
And then that side where like Squetna and Rainy Passes and like over there, it's like the drier side of the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, like the storm smacks those mountains and kind of like stops right there and doesn't get over and dump.
Yep.
But then I saw winter weather advisories for the West. Earlier in the week, I was at the gym yesterday running, and I look up there on the TV, and I'm like, oh shit, still winter weather advisories up in the northwest areas. Not where we're at. Not that we couldn't still get dumped on, but
Yeah.
I'm over it. I know skiers love
We're
snow,
not.
but I just
We're not. More.
I'm digging the sunshine for sure.
Oh, it feels
Yeah.
great. But
Yeah.
We could use a refresh
Yeah.
for sure.
oh, like a fresh
Yeah, it got really windy.
Oh, and it
It just has a major effect
Like
on the
crusted
snow
it up.
on the snowpack. Yeah.
like on Alaska or in the area or just period?
Yeah, just I think the wind blew everywhere. This is why I was gone the last little bit, but
It was
Probably more
a
so in the
it was a
backcountry.
windy winter.
yeah, every time it was clear, it's like the north
Yeah.
flows just came down and kind of hammered everything.
That's a great point. It would snow, all that beautiful snow all over the trees, and then blow it off.
Yep.
And it's like that's the prettiest part about when it snows. Is when all the trees are just packed and coated and hanging.
Yeah.
And then, and you notice the moose too. They're so desperate right now.
They're climbing
Like-
up on crazy hills.
Oh my
to
gosh,
get the
I've
trees.
seen them
Oh
on
my goodness.
mounds and mounds. Like it's crazy. I'm like,
Oh, is that a moose up there?
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I seen a cow and a calf in front of McDonald's on Abbott and Lake Otis, crunching on the shrubs that just surround the property. And my daughter's like, damn, Dad, why is there moose right there? I was like, they're hungry.
Yeah.
They're desperate.
They're in line at Mickey D's.
Let me get a breakfast burrito, some salsa. But the point is that they're, you know, you get this late in the year. I had a gal call in the other day. She's like, she sent me a picture. She's like, I can't come to work right now. I'm like, what's up? I'm
trapped.
I have a broomstick and I'm poking this moose out of the front door.
Oh, funny.
And the fucking thing won't move. And I was like, he's probably so hungry he doesn't give two shits about you.
Yeah.
Those shrubs he's been looking for those.
Yeah.
But the snow's so deep, man. Like it's not easy to find food.
Well, there's been the collapses of the buildings and
this last week there was 2 or 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
Roof
been
collapses.
crazy.
Yeah, my wife was just telling me they went around the muni went around all the schools.
Yeah,
and there was like 2 schools that had 2
had
red flags, but for the majority they were all legit.
Nice.
And I was thinking, you know, with all the unfortunate and tragic things that have happened in Anchorage with some roof collapses, and we had that gal that passed away a couple weeks ago. That was really, really a sad story. I'm like, I think my kid's safe at school, and you think about all the shit that can happen at school for a kid.
Yeah.
The last thing I was thinking was a goddamn roof collapse. And then the fact that they had engineers going around, I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Whoever the hell made the call to get those people out there to do that. I just wasn't even thinking about it. The schools are massive buildings with
all
flat roofs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm
a
like,
lot of 'em.
holy shit, there's precious cargo in those schools, man. You're like,
Yeah.
I was very grateful for that.
Good.
And they found a couple, and only 2 schools of all the schools in the city that were potential issues.
Yeah.
Like,
What did
hey,
they do
man.
then? Did they?
I don't know about that. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm assuming I imagine they took action right away on anything school related, right?
I'm sure they did.
You know, either cleaning it
The
or
old maintenance
putting repairs,
boys,
or
right?
yeah, or
Get some
somebody was getting some shit
shovelers.
done. Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, it's been kind of an unprecedented year for that kind of stuff. You know?
Agreed.
Emily, I meant to ask you how your trip to the SCI went.
Oh my.
Didn't you go to
God.
Smashville 99?
Is it called Smashville?
That's what Nashville's called.
I saw it on the agenda. I'm like, did he
Nash Vegas, like you name it. It was
spell that wrong? I was like,
It was pretty
Smashville?
wild. First time over there, and so I went with my best friend, her husband, and John Sturgeon, gentleman on the show, and it was quite the experience. It was so much fun. It is a smaller version of Vegas, but everything's a little bit more compact. So, like the Music City Center, where the expo was, and all the events were in the same building, and where the Predators play, it was right next to that. And then like Broadway, where all the bars are, was like 2 blocks from that. And the stretch of that, it wasn't as daunting, you know, as like a Vegas strip per se. But
Yeah.
have you been to Vegas? Or I mean, Nashville?
No.
So like
Smashville?
every
Smashville.
bar was at least 3 stories tall, and every story had a different live band that was like the most amazing live music you've ever heard. But then the expo itself was like, I was like blown away, like walking in for the first time. Like I've never been to anything like this before. And it was cool. Like the first day I was kind of like wandering around by myself, which I think was good. So it's like nobody was waiting on me and I wasn't waiting on anybody else. I could kind of just get like a lay of the land. And the whole event itself was so well like put together, and everybody I encountered was so nice, so generous. And just to be in like that type of environment with that group of like-minded people that was all there to support conservation, you know, for hunting, for fishing, for, you know, wildlife. It was really, really cool. And I can only imagine what these people were dealing with that like were working these booths, because it was long days and then rallying at night. Like, no doubt.
Back at the booth at 7 a.m.
Oh my gosh. Like, Kevin, like every day I'm like, Kev, you okay, bro? Like, working his Barney's booth. I'm like, what do you need?
It's coffee. I need
yeah.
coffee.
He said it was it's
a
process.
grind.
Yeah.
It is a grind, you know?
Yeah.
So like this, that's just an empty, huge, like auditorium that nothing was there like a few days prior, and like these huge, just Safari Club International, like even like the taxidermy.
Oh man,
Oh,
the way it was
that's
like
insane.
elevated up high, and
I mean,
you send
it's-
us photos. I'm like, God damn, that's some
It's
coordination.
everywhere, and it was huge, and it was a really, really cool experience, and I'm really glad I went. And it's going to be in Nashville again next year, and then after that, they're moving it to New Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah, so we definitely got to go.
Do they go
next
2
year.
years, 2 years, 2 years?
So they have meetings about it, I guess, where they
Okay.
kind of like decide where it's going to go, and it's all based on like capacity and what like
Infrastructure,
right, and what they can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we were only seeing like a fraction of it. Like, I ran into John a few times before he even got to relax, and he's going to meetings with people from the Alaska chapter and other chapters, and they're, you know, making plans and doing stuff that's way above my pay grade. But like, there were just so many different events going on. I feel like I barely got to scratch the surface. But I met so many cool people, and like met, you know, it's one of those areas where it's like you're friends with people on the line, and then you meet them in real life, and it's like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And it's like you make these connections, which was really cool. So met some old friends, made some new ones, and you know, I was with a few friends that booked some hunts, and it was just a really, really cool experience. And then John had gotten a table for the last night on Saturday night. That was the Leonard Skinner night. So we were like front and center, like Leonard Skinner, and like watching them do this live auction. You know, it's like, our banquet this last Saturday was amazing, but it was like small potatoes comparison. It was like a rifle went for $675,000.
Holy shit!
Rifle?
What?
Yeah, it was like an old school, like probably, you know, I don't know. Donald Trump Jr. was up, like
I saw you sent the photos. Like,
yeah, raffling off like a
Damn.
fishing trip with him, and some really cool awards. And that banquet hall was like huge. There had to have been, you know, easy, like, I don't know, it seemed like 5,000 people in that room.
Yeah.
Like, it was huge.
oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really good time. I'm glad I went. It was great. So much fun.
Nice.
Yeah. And so then we just roll in, you know, came home, rolled into our sheep banquet here, and then we've got our SCI here
Coming
in
up
town.
April.
Yep, April 21st and 22nd. So I was going to say, too, that John has asked, and what's Ruth?
Luke.
Yeah,
Oh.
Ruth and
And Lou.
Ruth Cusack and her husband, you know, they do a lot, and it's all based on a lot of volunteers up here. So I'm going to volunteer on the night of the 21st for Ruth, like running the gun wall at the event. And they've asked if anybody has any interest in volunteering, like at all. It is much appreciated, and they're in dire need of volunteers, and that's how, you know, a lot of things are kind of run and become successful with people volunteering their time and energy. So if anybody has any interest of getting involved in anything like SCI, I would encourage you. You can reach out to me, reach out to Daniel, Brandon, the show, and we can kind of point you in the right direction. But that's how these events are essentially like put on, is through volunteers. And it's a great way to meet people if you're new to town, new to hunting. That's essentially what I did. And I had Ruth call me, you know, a handful of months ago, and now we've kind of created this relationship that's been great. So if you're interested, we need volunteers, hit me up.
Good. And I think we're trying to set it up where we're doing a podcast out there that night
Great.
on
Yeah.
Saturday the 22nd, I believe it is.
Yep. We've been in contact with
those
coordinators
guys.
and
Perfect.
So we'll see if
starting
that
to
works
set
out.
that up.
Hopefully it does, and so it should be a great time.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we're going to do the podcast. It's going to happen.
Okay.
We talked to John. We talked to John last weekend, and he
Great.
said, you know, my boys are a little bit new with this, but we'll make it happen. Right.
John's a man.
Yeah. He did ease the
Talk
fears
to
on that.
John.
He did ease the fears on that. Meg, we appreciate you coming out here,
Thanks for
having a
me.
chat with us.
Yeah, you were great,
It's
man.
been so fun.
All the cool stuff that you're doing, the connections with all the Alaska businesses, your support for what you're doing, just having your art out there for everyone to enjoy. It's beautiful.
And thank you so much for bringing these. This is like such an amazing gift that we
Yeah,
will
absolutely.
get to share with
Beautiful
everybody,
pieces.
these 2 pieces. So
Yeah.
thank you for bringing those.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your story, Meg.
Yeah, thanks for
I
listening.
was doing some research on you over these last couple of days, and as we get our guest list going, and we're like, okay, we got these folks coming on, and I mean, everything that you do tells a story of what you do, but being able to actually hear it right from you is like, I mean,
It's inspiring.
I was just saying, it's purely an inspiration to
Yeah,
what
babe.
a person should, reconsider when you think something's not possible, or or maybe you're second guessing going after something. Like, listen to this podcast. Reach out to Meg.
I'll push
She's
it.
an artist. She's a pilot.
She's a badass.
She's an entrepreneur. She's an enthusiast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You did
guys.
amazing, and you're living a badass fucking lifestyle.
Heck yeah.
Amazing girl.
Yeah.
Hell
Wrap it
yeah.
up.
You keep doing what you're doing.
I
All right.
will.
Right on.
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, the Instagram is megsmith.art.design. Also, Meg Lynn Smith. The website is megsmithartdesign.com.
megsmithdesign.com.
megsmithdesign.com. So go ahead and check that out. They will have a couple shows that we announced before coming up at the Girdwood Brewery, and also at the
Aviation gathering.
Aviation Gathering, and the one
Forest Fair.
I'm not allowed to.
Go open up a.
We'll be there. Daniel won't. Forest Fair. Good.
Go. Daniel's like
Daniel
gonna be out in the
licking.
parking
Daniel's
lot.
gonna be
like,
licking.
no
He'll be
way.
licking trees.
I'll be over there by the creek,
Licking trees.
just chilling.
Licking trees.
with,
Cold
a, with
plunging.
a fly. Just-
Yeah.
And go open up a checking account in Alaska USA and get one of Meg's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Short.
Alaska
Yeah.
USA. That was the plug. You know what I'm saying?
Plug. That's right. That's right. AlaskaWildProject.com, Patreon.com/Alaska Wild Project to support the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Alaskan. Thank you, Meg. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you,
Thank
Daniel.
you, Daniel.
And Emily, as always,
Stay wild.
You'll remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
the Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Snow Pro AK, your snow and ice management company specializing in business and residential properties. They know what it takes to keep your property presentable and safe. Give them a call for a free estimate at 280-7098 or visit lawnproak.com. Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they